When all the people were stranded and all of them out of line, when all the dreams had been branded long beyond their time, when everyone had been told to follow kind with kind, that's when we knew that the seers, all of them were blind. This time they told us was different. This time we finally change. This time we learn all that we meant. This time we reach the range. But when the time came down to it, we found something strange. All those from the new order seem permanently deranged. All things we've seen, those colors from blue to green, no changes to move ahead, all bring us right back instead to so everything is brand new now. Change has finally come. Now that we've finally seen how to reach everyone. Now that we've finally learned how the tale that we have spun. I wonder when we'll all realize this plot's already been done. This time they told us was different. And this time we'd finally change. This time we'd learn all that we meant. And this time we reached the range. But when the time came down to it, we found something strange. All this from the new order seem permanently deranged. All things we've seen, those colors from blue to green, no changes to move ahead, all bring us right back instead to
There we go. As the music fades out from the beginning of our stream. Hello, Arvanauts. Welcome. It is January 8th. It's about 12:45 p.m. Eastern. I hope everyone's doing well and is looking forward to a little bit of an impromptu stream switch. We were supposed to be doing Adventures of Middle-earth today, but we had a illness situation with one of the players who is fine. They're fine, but they were under the weather today. So we rescheduled. So today is going to be what we were going to be doing next week. and that is Sagard the Barbarian, the Fire Demon, as we return to the world of game books. So welcome. I see some people here who are big fans in particular of the game books thing, and that's always a pleasure to see all you folks, and I hope that you will be here for this and for other streams coming up in the future. Before I go any further, let me remind people about ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow this channel. That is one of the best things you can do. Please check out the YouTube channel with !ArvTube. That is always a big thing. !ArvCord will get you over to my Discord channel where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. !ArvTweets will let you tweet out this stream, and actually that'll let you join my Twitter, and !Tweet will let you tweet out this stream. And please do that, because we want to make sure that we can reach out to people beyond just the Twitch community and bring more folks into a mix like this. So please do that if you can. !Tweet for that. Check out as well the shop, which is !ArvShop. That will bring you over to my merchandise area where you can pick up Infinity and Beyond stuff, my main D&D campaign. Other merchandise is going to be happening there as well. And then, of course, we've got the other two financial ways to support the channel. The Patreon is !ArvTreon. You can get stuff to inspire the players in one of my campaigns. You can get a professional critique of your writing. You can get a copy of one of my band's 3 albums, including the album that you just heard that song from. That song is called Cycles from 5 Years Later. So there's that as well. And then the last part is the sub button, which is right above the sub window. Thank you to Brahms, by the way, for the resub when I was just starting up here. We are up to 60 subs now. So the goal for the end of the year is 80 subs. By the end of 2019, I would like to get to 80 subs. I think that's a reasonable, manageable goal. It's going to be a busy year, too, with a whole bunch of publishing and professional and personal stuff and announcements of various kinds happening. So anyone who's able to support in that way is much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Now, schedule. Today, we've got Sagard the Barbarian over at GOG and Pen and Pixels at 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be playing Thronebreaker, continuing my playthrough of that. On Thursday, we will have a special session, and I do want everyone to mark their calendars here. Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be having a special solo session with Mr. Will Jones from Encounter Roleplay, who plays Robar Staunton. He was not here for the month of December, and so we're going to be doing a special solo session talking about what happened to his character when he was away, and that's actually going to set up narratively well, because then he will be able to return to the group, assuming he survives, on Tuesday, the following Tuesday. So that's what we've got going on Thursday. Then on Friday night, I will have my usual stream. I will be doing a mini marathon session continuing The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. On Saturday the 12th, it looks like we have our first Esper Genesis session of the month, my space opera. That's going to be a good time, so please make sure to check that out. Then next Tuesday, a week from today, we've got Adventures in Middle-earth, which we were going to do today, is going to be next week instead as a group, so we'll be doing that as a group. And then I'll be playing D&D with GOG Storm King's Thunder over on Pen and Pixels next week. And then next Friday, so a week from this Friday, I will be live streaming the Boston area release party of that album you just heard the song from for 5 Years Later. So we got a lot of stuff going on and other things throughout the month. I won't go through it, but if you check out arvanelleron.com, or if you type in !calendar, you'll be able to find out all the details about that. All right, with that said, I am now going to unmute myself so that Terry knows that we are just about ready to go, and then I'm going to unmute her, and I'm going to head over now, I hope you're all ready for it, to here we are, the overlay of the universe, and you can see that we are already hard at work on preparing this for you for Sagard the Barbarian, the Fire Demon, and it is my great pleasure to bring in, as always, my friend for the first time in 2019, so I can say Happy New Year to her, and this is Terry Tunes. Hi, Terry. How are you? How's life in the universe and everything for you?
Hi! Happy New Year, everybody. Everything is good here. I'm a bit sad that we don't play D&D Lord of the Rings today because of the webcam. You guys would have been able to see my Christmas tree, but like since in this stream format we don't use a cam for me.
Can you take a picture of it though, so we can see it next week or whatever? Just
yeah, I can take a picture before I take it down, because
right,
like
good.
over here, like Christmas season like kind of officially ends on January 7th. So
right.
like when everybody takes down their Christmas decorations usually. So yeah, like that's gonna go.
Yep, I dig it. We actually we like the 12 Days of Christmas type thing here also, or I do anyway. I don't know how many people. So that's like starts on December 25th. I think it's the same. It starts on the 25th and goes, let's see, 31 days in December, right? So 6. and then another. So I guess technically it ends It ends January 6th. So basically a day earlier than you. But
No, well, I mean, like the last day basically is January 6th because that's Holy Three Kings.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What it's called.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like,
Okay, so
yeah,
it's the
I think
same.
the whole like 12 Days of Christmas thing is a British thing, not a German thing. We don't do that here anyway. Like I know there's a song, but like there's no German version of that song.
You just don't like the song. Let's be honest.
No,
All right.
I hate songs in general. Music is the worst thing ever.
Music is terrible. Yeah, you have no connection to music whatsoever.
Where's that picture of Batman going like all about? Or what did he hate? Was it jazz music or rock music? Either one.
Yeah, yeah.
Batman officially hates either one.
I think it was jazz, wasn't it? Because he loves metal. Because
no. There's like a whole comic series where like Batman goes out to like fight music based.
What? I only know this from Batman Lego.
No. It's like, yeah, but Batman Lego is like a reference of like all the old things, you know, like the more you know about Batman, the more you will like get an enjoyment out of that movie because it like has so many callbacks.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's.
I mean, I'm not even huge into Batman, but like I'm more of a Wonder Woman person and Green Arrow and Green Lantern. But yeah, music is terrible. That's what I meant.
That's basically the lesson here. Well, I'm excited for us to get started here on this next game book. And by the way, just as a quick note to my game book fans here, this will be the last of the Sagard books that we'll be playing. And then we'll be moving on to, I think, my guess is, because this was such a close vote, my guess is that we're probably going to be doing a couple of Sherlock Holmes game books next. So Terry will get a chance to get her Victorian, Sherlock Holmes pipe and vest game on. Just a lot of sword canes.
Classic Lolitas everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a good time. And then the other thing I want to mention about this is that for those of you who might have missed this announcement, after I finish the Bard's Tale, which I've been playing as the main video game thing in my channel, I'm going to be doing, the next thing we're going to be doing as a group is going to be the Sorcery Gamebook series, but not the Sorcery Illustrated series that Terry and I do, or the Gamebook Illustrated series. It's actually going to be using Inkle, which is the company that did the 80 Days Around the World game. They have a set of sorcery games which are like supposedly off the hook good, and I've played part of the first one and liked it, but I just didn't, for some reason. There were other games that sort of got in the way, so we're going to be playing through those. Now, the sorcery game books, I have said for a long time, are the best game books ever made. They are so good that they kind of redefine game books, actually. So apparently Inkle did an amazing job of converting this over. So we will be doing this collectively, and that'll be, Terry and I will still be doing these sort of very old school, book thing. We'll still be doing these sessions, but we will, as a group, be doing as the sort of video game thing, the sorcery stuff, before moving back into more traditional games after that. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be a good time. But so before we get started with Sagard, we do need to figure out what our music's going to be for today. So chat, do we have suggestions for a barbarian appropriate video game related OST? We have done the Conan the Barbarian ones in the past. I think we did the Golden Axe OST as well. But if anyone has got an idea for a barbarian fantasy game slash themed OST, I would love to see them. So what do we got for suggestions, chat, for the OST?
We can't do movie music because of copyright.
Right,
stuff.
Not movie music, can only be game music. By the way, I didn't mention this, but I actually got a copyright strike where a couple of my videos, 2 of them, can't be played in any country now. It was from back in 2014 when I was playing Skyrim, and it was because of Ave Maria. So get this Christmas carol, this Christmas song was finally found by UMG, the rights owner, and apparently they're like, nope, so copyright strike, can't play it on any state. I'm like, great.
Ave Maria is hundreds of years old.
Correct, but not the UMG version. It's a joke.
Legally not allowed to be copyright claimed. It's
I know.
Public domain.
I know, but
you doesn't like use like a specific. I mean, like the thing, like copyright law is such a mess. Oh my god. We did that stuff in school, and it's like horribly complicated. But like basically, if I remember correctly, like nobody like take my word for it, but like what it boils down to is that like after I think it was 75 years, a thing becomes public
correct.
domain.
That's right. That just happened with Batman and Mickey, actually, and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, except for that it can like. For example, like with that song, like, yes, like the song itself, but then like if somebody makes a recording of that song, then that version that recording of that song can be copyright protected.
Which I think is what happened here. I think
Yeah.
that's what it is. But it was still one of those things where I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I hate Autobot copyright trolling. Like I just, and I'm a creative myself, but this is just not the way to do trademark and copyright properly. So your suggestion is Weapon Lord. I have not heard of the Weapon Lord OST for Genesis. All right, here we go. Let me let's see how this sounds. Actually, it's for not Genesis, for well, actually, it is Genesis and Super Nintendo. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's see how good it is.
Never heard of this game.
Okay.
Well, it's not
Oh
very
my
long.
God.
That soundtrack is only 30 minutes.
Wow, this is really stereo. Oh my God, I can't. It's a disaster. It's a good idea, Kerflop, but I can't. Maybe the Genesis one won't. It's literally jumping back and forth from my left to my right ear. Like, very immersive, very not good for streaming.
Oh, wait, maybe you have a different link than me? Wait a second. Oh, so it does sound fine for me anyway. Wait a second.
Okay, here we go. Is this here? I'm gonna pop this one in. This is the one I'm listening to now. This one's better.
Oh, that's a different one I have.
This one's better, actually. This works. All right, here we go. This works. All right, chat. So here's the way we do things. So Sagard the Barbarian. This is the fire demon. Now, we have already played Sagard the Barbarian, the Green Hydra. This is book 4. No, I do not have book 3, nor do I have book 1. And so Sagard has managed to advance somewhat in his skill and knowledge and daring. He's actually leveled up, basically. And I will describe how that actually happened in just a minute. But chat is going to be voting on the decisions that they want to make. And so I'll talk about how to vote when we get there. But basically, this is where chat makes the decisions and fights the battles and things like that. And so, with that said, let us get into the game. And let me switch over to my reading glasses. Hello, Dreamin' of Me. How are you? Let's switch over to this. Good, lovely. All right, here we go. Introduction. I will try to be doing my best, Conan Barbarian style voice. After the death of the Sultan Jazir, Tabu Bel Abu was beset with political intrigue as factions of the Hitaxian aristocracy struggled for control of the great capital. Seeing that name reminds me that I never said hello to Hatnix and thanked him for hosting me. Thank you, Hatnix. Sagard, largely forgotten in the shuffle, spent several weeks resting in the city. However, when the Sultan Fakadi and his holy scimitars rose to power, a price was put on Sagard's head, and his future in the city has become very bleak. Thus, he plans his departure. However, it is not with Sagard, but far to the south that our tale begins. It is a dark tale of voodoo and sorcery made more sinister by the curse of the Fire Demon.
Dun dun dun.
All right. So, here we go. Section 1. Ooh, this is actually, this is a good one. Let me pop up this illustration if I can. All right, let's see. There was a sub-publisher that published this called Schadenfreude Studios. That's a good one. Let's see. Okay, don't
trust them. Don't trust
Yeah, I know, exactly. I don't think I have the illustration for this, unfortunately. So, we will we have Terry's amazing artwork instead. But I will show you all the picture, if I can
I
here.
need to see on stream.
Music is a touch loud? Okay. Hold on a second.
Oh, can people hear me fine,
There
by
you
the
go.
way? Because my microphone likes to do the thing.
Yeah, is that better now, Caro, for the music? And can you hear Terry okay?
Hello, hello. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
That's better? Okay, good. So here's the illustration. You can see we got Big Demon Dude.
Oh,
and-
wait. I need to see.
So we've got Big Demon Guy.
Oh,
Let me see if I can hold that a little bit better. There we go. Big Demon Guy. And then we've got Guy who presumably is the one who's actually summoning him below him.
yes.
All right, so deep in the Zimbian jungle beat feverish drums. A tiger, stalking a wounded okapi through the wet darkness, suddenly sniffs the stench of death, and filled with a primal terror, gives up her prey and scrambles for shelter in the thick undergrowth. Not far away, skeletal hands beat upon a drum. The drummer averts his eyes from the hideous figure who, illuminated by rising flames, watches over him, for the anatomy of Ushad-E is a ghastly sight. The sorcerer's body is a crisscross network of scars connecting the lithe, powerful legs of a Zimba tribesman to the torso of a muscled Frusty. From the shoulders come alarmingly small, olive-skinned arms and dainty woman's hands, which once belonged to a Shadinese lute player. What the hell is this? This guy's Frankenstein's monster? Atop his neck is a gaunt Phexian face, unnaturally set off with burning red Vulzar eyes. The sorcerer smiles slightly as he eyes his captive tied to a pole. The Erdian is the most handsome man in the realm, an actor by trade. Now, however, his handsome face is twisted in fear as he struggles with his bonds. No civilized man would believe the ceremony which follows. Two pale figures, devoid of emotion, step up to the bound man and carry him forward to the fire, which, although without fuel, rises to a towering height and assumes a vaguely human shape. It is a fire demon. "The face shall be mine," the sorcerer declares to the demon. "The spirit shall be yours." A breathy voice from the fire itself responds, "So be it." Not suspecting that he is to face a fate much worse than burning, the bound man lets out a shriek as he is thrown into the demonic fire. Unafraid, the sorcerer enters the flame. Uncertain moments follow. The fire turns purple, then slowly dies down, and a blood-curdling reality emerges. The sorcerer now wears the Erdian's face, and the Erdian now wears the sorcerer's. The Erdian, his soul consumed by the flame, seems not to notice or care. Moments later, the sorcerer gazes into a polished silver mirror, admiring his handsome new face, the raw beauty of it marred only by red Vulzar eyes. "I am nearly complete," he mutters to himself. "I am nearly a fully operational..."
No, I'm just thinking of that one Tenacious D song. Belzebus.
Yeah. Yep.
I am complete.
I am complete. That's right. Thousands of miles away, a hot desert, many miles away, a hot desert wind brings strange tales to Tabu Bel Abu, the city of minarets and treachery. I love, every one of these things is a one-liner. Tabu Bel Abu, the city of minarets and treachery. I love it. Deep
Is
in
there
the...
like a sign in front of the town which says like, "Welcome to Tabu El Abi," and then like...
Yeah, exactly. Then like the Chamber of Commerce, the city of minarets and treachery. Deep in the bazaar, where swarthy-faced, turbaned men smoke from long pipes and tell tales of fantastic treasures, a man all in black with a garish golden earring beckons you. "Come, Radican, for I read your mind." His beady brown eyes stare deeply into yours. "Forget the small plunders you seek here, for there is much greater treasure hidden in the steaming jungles, waiting for one of your strength to wrest it from evil hands." "I have heard of no such treasure," you respond. The gyptic waves his hand for you to sit before him. "Sit for a moment, and I shall tell you of Sanda-Ul, the lost city of ivory." "I have heard many such tales," you say, "but none have been true. They are more fit for superstitious women than for men of arms. I am a 1980s version barbarian with all the sexual knowledge of that." "Hear mine and judge," the mysterious man responds, and takes a long draw of his strange pipe. "When I was your age, I was a humble slave in Nuxus, where the mouth of the Danjo flows into the Gavardian Channel. My master, though a prince, was in need of money and ordered us on a long journey to the deep jungles of the Wooga. For months we trekked down serpentine paths and discovered nothing save for disease, ambush, and the sundry other horrors of this teeming jungle. Then one day, in the black heart of the jungle, we came upon a great granite wall which stretched as far as we could see. This wall was unscalable, and we ventured to find a gate. Curiously, it seemed deserted. There was one red hat saying 'Make America Great' near the wall, but we assumed there was nothing about that. We saw no men defending the rampart until one moonless night we spied glowing marching figures upon the high parapet. We called to the men but received no response. The superstitious among us believed they were ghosts, and their suspicions were not unjustified, for in places where the great stones had fallen leaving a gash in the wall, the misty sentinels marched through the empty air. Many of my party fled into the woods. Though I do not know what became of them, I must say that bestial roars from the jungle on those nights boded the worst for them. Finally, we came upon a great gate of massive wood beams. Through cracks between the beams, we could see a city. Though deserted, it was a sight I will never forget. It was constructed of carved ivory to an ornateness that would put to shame even the great temples of Shangaza. Our master ordered us to cut through the beams, and we set to doing it. The petrified timbers dulled our axes, shattered our swords, and sapped our strength. You become impatient. Get to it, old man. What did you find inside? We never went inside, for we were discovered by the Ushadi. Who are the Ushadi, you ask? The Ushadi is a man, a sorcerer, dark ruler of the jungle. You have told a charming story, old man, but have offered no proof of your adventure. I should give you a silver piece and be on my way, you say, standing up to depart. My proof, he says, is here. As he removes a pair of ornate sandals, you recoil in shock. Instead of a pair of feet, there stands another reddish pair, much too large for his legs. Before you can say anything, the old man looks over your shoulder and shouts, "Look out, Radican!" With lightning reflexes, you dive from your seat as a scimitar cuts the air above your head. Drawing your sword and jumping to your feet in a single action. Wow, that's really impressive. Wait, how did you die? Okay, anyway. You face two Hitaxian scimitars, dangerous agents of the Sultun Fakati. One of the men barks out, "Your head is worth 200 gold pieces, Radican, and we shall have it." You must fight these men for at least one round. They attack first. Now, in this game, we have a broadsword, but we also got to carry over a spirit luck, which allows us to return to full hit points once per battle. We have 500 gold pieces, and we are actually level 4. So what that means is, since we are level 4, let me actually mark that down, is we are now a hardened warrior with 25 hit points. We are hardened by vicious battle. So we have now permanently gained 5 hit points. And so now we must fight the scimitar. Now, the way that the game works, the fighting works, is that we're actually going to be rolling dice. And by that, I mean Chad is going to be rolling dice. And so the way it works is we are going to, you roll a number from either 1 through 4. So you're basically going to roll a 1d4. And then the higher the number, the more damage you inflict upon the other person. So right now you are fighting these level 3 scimitars. And let me put them in here. I'm not sure I've ever actually heard the term scimitar. I'm not sure that's a thing. Scimitar number 1.
Like, what I've been wondering is because, like, it mentioned okapis at the beginning, and I wonder, like, how many kids who played this game back in the day, like, actually have ever heard of an okapi until that point. We're like, what the hell is an okapi?
Absolutely. Well, and you know, the other thing that this does is it sort of reflects this unbelievable just combination of names. So it's just like the Wu Shalaksa and like all these names. You're like, wait, what? Who? What? But they do that on purpose because, you know, you're going to be all like fired up and think that's different. Yeah, exactly, with intent. When I was your age, I had a kingdom of women at my beck and call. 1d4, aka nerd caltrops. Yep, that's exactly right. Okay, so now what I need from chat is I need a volunteer, please, to be rolling the dice for chat. The way it's going to work is that Sagard is going to go first and is going to attack one of these scimitars. Then each one will get a chance to attack him. As we are doing this, you can roll if you have a 1d4 at home, that's fine. We use the honor system here, so you need to be honest about what you actually rolled. Or you can use the Wizards of the Coast dice roller, which has any potential die that you could ever want. And you're going to be rolling a 1d4. So can I have a volunteer, please? You've already done this, so you're out, Kerflop. So may I have a volunteer to roll 4-sided die for the benefit of chat? Who would like to do this? I know that Caro has. I know Kerflop has. Yes. I need a volunteer, please, to roll the d4. Roll a d4. Roll a d4. Anyone? 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 Anybody? Anyone? Anybody? I do not see people jumping forward. I mean, if we had to, If we had to, we could have one of the people who's done it before do it again. That would be okay. Okay, so unless somebody jumps in, I'm going to let Caro do it. I believe Caro rode pretty well. I don't think people, you know, blamed him for any potential losses that might have existed. Okay, it looks like you're in, Caro. So what I need you to do, please, is to roll a four-sided die. Obviously, you want the higher, the better. And actually, let's see, the broadsword. And our broadsword will give us an extra point of damage. So, let's see. The rest must be at work. Yes, that could very well be. Okay, Caro with the 3. Let's see. So Caro with the 3 is going to do 2 damage. No, sorry, 3 damage normally, but because of the broadsword, does 4 points of damage. So gives this guy what 4? All right. And actually, let me double check and see if there is a. Okay, goes up and down. Good, lovely, wonderful. Okay, now they are going to attack. And they are going to, we've got a four-sided die. Wah. 4 and a 2. So, first one is going to do 3 points of damage, and the other one just 1. So that's 4 points of damage. Okay. All right, go ahead, Caro. We'll need you again here. As we are continuing to challenge these creatures. Okay, or opponents, yep. Okay, so a 2 is going to be 2 points of damage plus 1 for the broadsword is 3. Okay, so he's down to 11. And he's going to roll a 1 and a 4. So we're looking at about 1, 3. So again, 4 points of damage again. All right. Okay, Caro, on we go. Okay, we've got another 2, which means 3 points of damage. So that will bring him down to 8 points of damage. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I didn't reset that. Okay. So 1 and 1. That's what I like to see. Okay. So 2 points of total damage there. Lovely. Okay. Once again, Caro, I would recommend a 4 here. 3 will do also, actually. Either 3 or 4 would be fine. So that means 4 points of damage, which means this one's down to 4 points of damage alone. So they're almost out. Okay, 4 and 1. So again, that's going to be 4 points of damage here. All right. And now you're up here, Caro.
By the way, do you only have problems with movie soundtracks or also TV show soundtracks?
Same thing with movie and TV, I think, is that they're still theoretically copyright and could cause problems. 2 points of damage. Okay, so this one is down to 2. Well, I didn't reset it. All right, I had the 1, 2, and 1. Okay, so we're talking about 2 points of damage. All right. One more time. That's okay. That's okay, Caro. Let's see if you can actually pull out the cleave here. You can damage one guy. See? 4. So that's going to be 4 points of damage. All right, that takes him out. And then cleaves the next. So now we're down. He's down to 16. So now we're just fighting one cemetery. Exactly. Just like head off. Okay. And he's going to do only 1 point of damage. All right. So your turn. Now we're just focusing on this guy. All your strength and power. Just straight to this dude. 1, which means 2 points of damage to this guy. Because you get the extra for the broadsword. That is okay. Keep not resetting it. I'm supposed to. Okay, 3, which is 2 points of damage. All right, this is close. We may need to end up using Spirit Luck. We have that spirit luck, which is benefit. Yeah, fear my crits, exactly. Ah, 3 points of damage. Okay, so that's going to be 4 points of damage to this guy. All right. 2, which is going to be 1 point of damage. Okay. All right, 2, which means, let's see. So 2, so that's 3 points of damage there. All right, we're getting there. He's down to 7 points of damage now. He only does 1 point of damage there. Still got a shot. Definitely got a shot. As you slice back and forth, take out this scimitar. Well, I keep wanting to say rocketeer, and I keep thinking that's not accurate. All right, go to it here, Kara.
Steampunk twist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that reminds me of this one. Oh, what's it called? Like homebrew game system that I had with like some friends
Okay.
when we were all still in school, basically. Which was like this like Steam fantasy thing. It was very, very weird. It was mainly like the idea of my friends. Like, for example, like instead of rats in this world, you had kiwis. And instead of birds, there would be jellyfish flying around everywhere. It was really, really odd. That would be like a thing that would fit in there. Like, what was it? A rocketeer with a scimitar.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to think of how that would even, yeah, like how that would even work. But it's like it's a mashup of cool things, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Is what it is. So
Played it for one whole round session. That was if you do, because people never have time at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I know the feeling. Okay, down to 1. All right, so the good news is... Okay, 3. Oh my goodness. Down to 1 stamina point. Let's go, Caro. You can do it. Let's take him down. Man, we actually won't even need it to have used the stamina, this spirit luck. We're gonna be down to 1 point though. So you got 4 2s in a row? Wow, Mr. Consistent right there. Fortunately, that is enough to defeat them. Nice stuff. Okay, Section 3. Section 3, entitled Littered Scimitars. With his last gasp, one of the scimitars shouts, "Abdul!" and collapses on the floor. Gain 4 experience marks. XP. Seeing that the old man was wounded by a stray scimitar, you grasp his hand. "Life abandons me," he says. Then he pulls you close to him and in a hoarse voice whispers, "Do not cross the path of the Ushadi on your quest for the lost city of ivory. For if you do, your heart will be torn beating from your chest, and your soul will be fed to the fire demon's searing flames. Even though I have spelled that word S-E-E-R-I-N-G, the flames do not see, they sear. I apologize for my lack of copyright protection and of quality assurance. Beware, Sagard, for the sorcerer's minions are everywhere. Gray-fleshed, soulless zombies peer from every oozing shadow in the dark heart of the jungle. Everywhere, watching, waiting to do their master's bidding." As he dies, a surge of life energy enters you. Regain all hit points. Wow! Alright, that's pretty badass. Suddenly, 4 sharp blades slash through the canvas walls of the old man's shop. Before you can flee, 4 scimitars step through the tattered fabric. The scimitars close in on you. "You are worth 400 gold pieces to us alive, Radakin, and 200 dead. Thus, we would prefer it if you would surrender. However, should you escape, you will be worth nothing to us. Therefore, you are better dead than gone," one of the scimitars says, his face twisted in an ugly smile. "You may surrender, fight 4 scimitars, or open your belt and throw out 200 gold pieces, hoping the scimitars will fight among themselves for them." 200, you're just going to find it like all in one smooth motion. All right, so we have the first vote of the day, and that is, what are we going to do? So what should we do? We can, let's see, surrender. Fight 4 scimitars, which, to be clear, we just barely, and I mean barely, defeated 2 scimitars. So I'm just saying. Or throw out 200 gold as a distraction. Run away! Run away! Okay, so now you get a chance to actually get your vote in, folks. This is $vote space, and then the one that you want to do. 1 is surrender, 2 is to fight 4 Scimiteers, and 3 is to throw out 200 gold as a distraction. So get in your votes now, folks. What do you want to do? There's a lot of Scimiteers. It's Scimiteers all the way down. Awesome. I see we've got another scale thing going on here, Terry. I love it.
Thank you. I don't know, I just have a thing for like oversized monsters. Like,
Yep.
Probably that thing is like probably like as tall as like 2 people in the book, but like yeah, no. Screw that.
Here he's like
As big as a
redwood tree.
house or 2.
Mhm. Yep, agree. All right, so we have 5 votes for throw out 200 gold as a distraction and 2 votes for fighting 4 Scimiteers. I'm going to last call this and see if anyone wants to get in on this taking out action.
Like, oh god, what game was that again? Where I drew that cave with a giant one-horned monster?
That was one of the lone.
Yes, it was Lone. Was it?
Was it? No,
Was it?
actually,
No,
no. I
it
don't think it was.
wasn't Lone.
No, it wasn't Lone Wolf. Yeah, with the huge, the dude in the cave.
Like it was like multiple dudes. I think it was like 3 people or something.
Yeah, but the main one that I was thinking of was you against. Oh yeah, there were multiple dudes in the cave with you. Yes.
Yes.
I can't remember which of the game books that was.
Me neither.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I love that one. And that was like way, beyond the scale of the book, but whatever. Like, I mean,
Like, I think it was like clear at the point because like you had to take the horn with you, but like I drew that creature so big that the horn was like 3 times the size of one dude.
It just immediately shrinks down to actually be used, so it's part of that too.
JRPG logic.
No, you did not miss much. We are deciding, Dream of Me, whether to try to fight these 4 Scimiteers. There's 4 of them. We barely beat 2 of them. Surrender, or to throw out 200 gold as a distraction. And I'm going to be closing this vote in just a minute. So now you can decide. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be hard to beat 4 Scimiteers. I mean, maybe. We would definitely have to use the Spirit Luck up. And that would be unfortunate. You could always use inspiration. That's... I'd have to think about that. Can I use inspiration on that? I guess we could use... Well...
No, don't
No,
waste
you can't really use inspiration on a game book, I don't think. What's up, Genly? Genly, I have not seen you in...
Points here.
Yeah, I was
Don't
going to say.
use inspiration here.
I like how Terry's immediately like, no, you want to save those points. You don't... I'm glad that you have no dog in this fight, Terry.
No, I'm totally unbiased here.
Yeah, no, completely.
I'm just like trying to think what's like best for everyone.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Especially for the player characters.
Yeah, no,
the game I'm
definitely.
participating in.
And specific player characters, that might do stuff. Yeah, exactly, Kerflop. I mean, it's going to be really, really rough. Yeah, good to see you, Genly. I have not seen you in a long time. Good to see you, man. All right, so... and if you want to vote, by the way, Dreamin' of Me, I don't think you've done this before with us in the game book stuff. So you do $vote, that's all one word, basically, $vote, space, and then the number that you want of the vote. So 1 would be surrender, 2 would be fight 4 Scimiteers, and 3 would be to throw out 200 gold. So you do $vote, space, and then the number of the choice that you want. And then I'm going to close this vote. So go ahead and get your vote in. Let us know what you have decided to do. There we go. Suddenly we have commercial going on over my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
Why did it go from the... So the video after the one that we were just listening to was The Fall of Sears. Really? They're like, you know what you would want to watch? Now that you've watched Weapon Lord, you're going to want to watch The Collapse of a Department Store. That's clearly the next thing. Okay.
Oh, we have like kind of an Arabian theme going on here, right?
True, yes. Maybe
like,
Prince of Persia?
It doesn't need to be barbarian themed.
That's true. Let's go with Prince of Persia then.
Okay. Which one?
Let us go with, because any Prince of Persia soundtrack is, any chance I get for the Prince of Persia is good. Let's do Two Thrones original soundtrack.
For those watching for the first time and are wondering why I'm also asking about this, because I can't hear the music you guys are hearing. I need to put this on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did it, Dreamin'. Okay, so that is the winner, and chat has decided to throw away its money, which, you know, I think that's understandable that you'd want to throw away your cash. No, it's fine. Okay, so you're going to throw away to distract them. So, section 95. Gold to the scimitars. Take 200 of mine and return to your homes alive, you shout, scattering gold pieces about the shop. One of the scimitars lowers his sword and kneels. Stop, Abdul. Do not fall for the Radican's tawdry tricks. The Sultan will have our heads if he escapes. We split his gold evenly. Losing the 200 gold pieces, you are still in the same position. Well, god damn it.
Well, I mean, you can kill them and take your money back, I guess.
I guess, but you may surrender to the scimitars, knowing that a fate may await you in the palace of the Sultan, or you may fight the 4 scimitars, knowing that you have but scant odds of defeating them. So they basically just took your 300. They're like, thanks for the 200 gold. Now, are you going to fight us or not? Is basically what they just said. Now, yes, I understand the desire to fight the 4 of them. I do want to point out there are still 4 of them. Now you have to kill them and take it back. I mean... Alright. So, do you surrender? Or do we fight the overwhelming odds of 4 scimitars? Kerflop is telling the truth. There's not a good chance of winning this fight. Even with spirit luck. So, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I mean, you know, far be it from me to, you know, to doubt Sagard, but... Vengeance will be mine later. When I am standing on the cover of a book, getting ready to break free from my chains. The thing about that image is that he looks like, in the cover image, like his arms look like he's got the muscle going on, the legs are okay, but the torso just looks like, and then torso. It just looks like muscle guy and torso. Like,
never skip torso day.
Don't skip, yeah. Don't skip torso day. Can't you wield that summer sword? No, I wish we had the summer sword in these books, Genli, but we do not. We do not. Many's the time I've said to myself, you know, I'm having to get to work. I don't know if I can get through all this traffic. Summer sword. But it just doesn't work. Like, I can't. Exactly, Ardenelli. He looks like a pretty boy from a boy band. You expect him, like, you expect to be holding the chains and just looking down and being like, oh my god, I'm back again. Like, that's what you're actually expecting. I hate Torso Day.
It's like the cover art. It's like kind of in a weird, what is it called? Juxtaposition, I think is the word. With like the text of the book, where it's like everything is kind of, yeah, how do I say this? Kind of archaic in use of certain topics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, this is what, you know, Gary Gygax is one of the writers, and it's from 1986. So,
well, I mean,
1986. Actually, January 1986. So I was not yet I was in 8th grade. God, 8th grade.
86. That might have been before my parents met.
Great. I was 5 years old. I was 12. See, there's Ardenel. See, Ardenel's helping me out. See? That means Ardenel's only 2 years younger than me. That's fine. Man, 1986. What a year.
Oh yeah, I remember it vividly.
Yeah, when you were negative whatever. I was 4.
86. Yeah, wait a second. I need to calculate that. So...
I was driving after
Oh,
spending
wait,
several years driving the
86,
train.
not 68. Oh god, yeah, I always confuse that one because in German.
No, not 1968. God, that's before I was born.
No, but like because in German you say it the other way around. You would say 68 instead of. First say the last letter.
Really?
Yeah, don't ask.
Wow. Okay.
It's like extra confusing because currently I'm learning Dutch, where it's like the same in German, but like Dutch kind of has also a lot of common with English. And it's like I'm always like, okay, which one did Dutch use again?
Oh my god. I was serving my country when Terry was a baby. Oh, really, Kerflop?
So apparently I was about minus 33 years old when that year was.
No.
Wait, no, that's now.
If you were minus 33, you're not alive now.
No, wait, no, now. I'm really, really bad at math. Never mind me. I was like, no.
I'm not a math genius myself, but I'm pretty sure that you're alive right now.
No, I was like calculated from this year, not from my birth year, because I'm an idiot. Never mind. I'll just like get back to drawing and like.
Okay, this should be too young. Okay. All right. So it looks like we have decided to surrender. Okay. All right. I think that's probably the wise choice. Section 2. At the mercy of the Scimitars. Knowing that you cannot defeat these dogs of intrigue, you drop your sword. The Scimitars laugh loudly and call you unpleasant names, like moldy blue cheese, Donald Trump, names like this. It is a fine sword this Ratican dog has yielded to us, but not the weapon of a scimitar. For your cowardice, lose 2 experience marks. What? With the grim consolation that you are still alive. That's garbage. We should get experience because we're still alive. That's the whole point.
We acted against our alignment.
Oh, come on. The last thing you feel is a swift crack on the head. Go to Section 8. Section 8. The Dungeon of Saltoon Fakadi. A scream pierces the dank air as you slowly regain consciousness. Lose your weapons and armor. Joke's on you. We have no armor. Ha 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 ha. Okay.
We have like a shoulder pauldron thing or what it's called.
Yeah, but we defy armor. So this is the proud Ratican who so boldly broke into this palace and slew my brother in Book 3, The Crimson Sea, which we didn't play. A voice speaking in regal Hitaxian dialect says, "He does not look nearly so great as legend has him, does he, my dear?" You open your eyes to a blur of images. 2 torturers stand over you. Despite the masks, you can tell they are Phyrexians, desert men, and masters of pain. Several feet away from them are a dark-haired man and a blonde woman. The man is a tall, wiry Hitaxian wearing regal robes and a blindingly brilliant amulet. His face, shadowed in the flickering torchlight, is that of a man of strength and will. He is the Saltoon Fakadi. The woman's tall form is wrapped tightly in a red velvet gown, head at her thin waist with a belt of gold. Atop her splendid form is a beautiful Erdian face seemingly carved from stone and accented by 2 eyes with the luster of emeralds. What should I do with you, Ratigan? Should I have you torn asunder on one of my instruments of torture, or shall I put you in the fighting pits? The Saltoon ponders. You could set me free with a chest of gold for my amusement, you respond. Show the Ratican how I deal with sarcasm, the Hitaxian shouts to the Phyrexians, and immediately the 2 torturers turn the wheel. Stubbornly, you ensure that not a word issues from your mouth as they tighten the devilish device. Then, with a snap of the Hitaxian's fingers, the torture stops. Feigning unconsciousness, you drop your head to the table and peek through narrowed eyelids. Feed him until he regains strength and place him in the pits, the Hitaxian commands, stepping away, chainmail clattering as he walks. Days of darkness pass like phantoms in the night. Chained to a wall, eating disgusting gruel cruelly fed to you by your torturers, your strength grows. Regain 15 hit points. Well, we never lost any after that. We got them all back, so. Having time for thought, you consider the old man's tale and resolve to search the southern jungles for Sanda-Ul, the lost city of ivory, should you ever get free. First, you will have to hire a safari party of able-bodied men who have been in the jungle before. Knowing that a man in good health will cost you 100 gold pieces, and that you will need at least 15 men to make the journey, check your status chart. You may either use the gold you have hidden away from previous books or try to gain more before setting out. I mean, we've already got money, so I think we're good to go. That is, if you ever escape the Hitaxian jail. Oh wait, now that I think of it, I take that back. We need 1,500 gold, and we've only got 300, so we may need to get some. Anyway, that's if we ever escape. Desperately you try your chains, searching for a weakness, but there is none. Certain that you will meet your doom in the Sultan's fighting pits, you drop off to sleep. Late at night, with soft footsteps whisper through the darkness. Peering around, you see that the other inmates are asleep, and a torturer, polished battle axe in hand, stands guard over the room. The second torturer is fast asleep. Suddenly, you see this. Okay, let's see if we have an illustration.
Why am I currently imagining, what was her name? Isma? From The Emperor's New Groove? The scene with her dress.
Oh my gosh. I haven't thought about that movie in ages.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's where we got the loot gnome in Infinity and Beyond from, was from Emperor's New Groove.
The loot gnome?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember when watching Infinity and Beyond, we had this like gif of a loot gnome, like let's see.
Oh, loot as in the instrument. I was
yes,
like about
loot.
looting. And it was like, what the hell is a loot?
No, L-U-T-E.
Randomly show up and steal your gear? Or
Yep. Oh, no, you know what? It wasn't the Emperor's New Groove. It was Road to El Dorado. Same company, though.
Ah, yes. No?
Yep.
Road to El Dorado is DreamWorks, and The Emperor's New Groove is Disney.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought they were the same. All right.
No, they're not like... I can see where the confusion might stem from, because The Emperor's New Groove is easily the most un-Disney Disney movie that they made.
I was going to say, yeah, like okay.
But no, The Emperor's New Groove is...
Huh, okay. There we go. It's this one.
Yes, the one of Diego, I think. Wait. Was Miguel the
Miguel,
black
that's
one
Miguel.
or the blonde one? Miguel.
It's mesmerizing, really.
Yes.
I think mostly it's just because the expression is so good.
Yes.
Stare into his soul, chat. Oh my god, that is the best. Alright. Enough clowning around, we got barbarians to deal with. Okay, so what was I actually looking for before I got distracted by the loot gnome? He's just staring into mine, that's true, Mr. Eridan, that is a good point. Okay, what was I looking for? I was looking for illustration. Alright.
I really should do that thing that I had the idea for like many years ago, where I was like thinking about like doing like my own quote unquote monster manual, just like with rad fantasy like creatures and animals.
You totally should do that. That would do, like, people would be all over that.
Would they though? I don't know.
I think
but
they
I always
would.
have like so many ideas for like things to do, and I never do.
Well, you just gotta take one and go with it. Like, you gotta come up with an idea, be like, this is it. Why have I not? Okay, I can't seem to find the illustration for this, so I'll have to show it again. So, here we go. So it looks like you see this.
It is a person.
It is a person leaping on top of the back of another person.
Oh, I see.
Because a shadowy form slowly creeps skillfully down the circular stairway behind the torturer. An instant later, a long dagger emerges from behind him and slits his throat. The torturer drops to the ground, revealing a curvaceous woman dressed in black. As the dim torchlight strikes her face, you realize it is the Erdian woman. You watch in amazed admiration as she silently steals across the floor, pulls a key from her dark garb, and opens your cold chains. "You are lucky tonight, Retikin, for I am a spy," she whispers. Turning, you see the black form of a torturer, axe held high. With a diving lunge, you knock her away as the executioner's hideous axe smashes on the stone floor. Diving across the floor to avoid a second blow, you grab the dead executioner's battle axe. You strike first. All right. So we're battling the torturer. I like the idea that...
She introduces herself as a spy. That's like a ninja going, hey, I'm a ninja.
Fortunately for you, I am a very, very secret spy. Yeah. I would never tell anyone that this... Okay. Torturer. Well, but that's what I mean. Like, nobody in these books, or like, no one's ever subtle, right? Like, everyone in here is always like, I am a spy. We're doing political intrigue. Like, even as she runs up, I am doing stealth, you know? They don't... Nothing is ever sort of normal.
Like that scene from Avatar where Sokka goes like, sneak attack!
Yeah, exactly. Sneak attack! All right. Okay, chat. So, Caro, I will need you to roll here. We're going up against this torturer. Now, the good news is... Oh, wait. 18. And it's skill 3. I forgot how good this soundtrack is, actually. It's a solid soundtrack. All right. Let's do it up. You versus the torturer. Now, fortunately, there's only one of them, and he's got an axe. I mean, well, so do you. I mean, like, for example, in this, whenever you have a barbarian thing, it's never just described as an axe. It's a hideous axe. It's not a woman. It's a curvaceous woman. It's not a. It's always something dreadful. Like, this is where adjectives.
Oh, yeah, curvaceous women are very dreadful. I know.
But at least not hideous. This is where adjectives come to die, though. I mean, like, adjectives, this is where they live their lives. 4, good start. All right. Yes, that will do 3 points of damage. Now, we don't get the extra point because we don't have a broadsword, but at least we have our battle axe. All right. Now, he's going to roll. He gets a 2, which only does 1 point of damage. Pfft. Nothing. All right, keep it up, Caro. It's just like if Evanescence did the soundtrack for Prince of Persia. All right, 3. All right.
No comment.
But just the voice.
I really
can't wake
don't care
up.
for Evanescence.
You don't like that? I'm singing loudly like a...
No,
Okay.
I really don't like music like that. And the worst part is that like YouTube always recommends music like that to me. Because it's like, I like, oh god. Sorry to go on like, what's the word?
On a rant? Keep going, Caro.
Yeah, okay, like, basically, like off-topic thing, that's what I mean. But like, to make it short, like the thing with like a lot of
A digression.
like, metal and metal-ish music is that you rarely have like that, like bands that have like female singers like usually have like a lot less prestige and are less known, for like a bunch of reasons, I guess. Not the point, but like the thing is, as soon as you listen to one band, like metal band on YouTube that has a female singer, you get all the other bands with female singers recommended to you, even if they have like a completely different genre. But it's like, oh, you like music with female singing.
How about
have,
Alanis
like,
Morissette? You're like, no.
Yeah, basically, kind of. Because like there's this whole fallacy of like, yeah, like female fronted metal is a genre, which it really isn't. It really shouldn't be. But
Right.
kind of, yeah, but it's like treat it like its own genre.
Well, I think actually Brahms posted in the Discord this woman singing along to Linkin Park, and was talking about the juxtaposition of the female voice with the metal chords. Maybe, I guess that's kind of what they mean, but yeah, they're definitely different genres for sure. Wow, Caro is just wiping the floor with this guy. I guess Caro was not happy about being imprisoned.
I mean, in like some genres, you literally can't even tell if it's a man or a woman singing, like black metal and death metal, for example. Because like, it just sounds the same because it's technically not singing; it's shouting and growling. So, yeah, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, Caro, I'm sorry. I completely had a brain fart. Of course I know the Eye of Argon. I have read it on this stream. In fact, I have participated in a contest. There are a lot of conventions that still have a contest where you're supposed to read this without either laughing or mispronouncing a name. For those of you who don't know, the Eye of Argon is probably the worst fantasy story ever written. It's so bad that it rises to the level of art. Its main character is a barbarian called Grignr, which is Grignr. Like, there's no way to pronounce it, and it just gets worse from there.
Wait,
It is the
Grignr?
most tropalicious Grignr. Grigner.
How do you spell it?
Grign and then R. And all of a sudden he's like, vowels are optional. Just, you know,
Okay.
an R. Yeah, Grigner. And, oh God.
You seem to be a fan.
Listen, I can't believe that you brought this up, Caro, but now you've done it. All right. I'm just going to read you the first few sentences, okay? The Eye of Argon. The weather-beaten trail wound ahead into the dust-racked climes of the barren land which dominates large portions of the Nargolian Empire. Age-worn hoofprints smothered by the sifting sands of time shone dully against the dust-splattered crust of earth. The tireless sun cast its parching rays of incandescence from overhead, halfway through its daily revolution. Small rodents scampered about, occupying themselves in the daily accomplishments of their dismal lives. Dust sprayed over 3 heaving mounts in blinding clouds while they bore the burdensome cargoes of their struggling overseers. Prepare to embrace your creators in the Stygian haunts of hell, barbarian, gasped the first soldier. Only after you have kissed the fleeting stead of death, wretch, returned Grigner. A sleeping blade of flashing steel riveted from the massive barbarian's hide-enameled shield as his rippling right arm thrust forth, sending a steel-shod blade to the hilt into the soldier's vital organs. The disemboweled mercenary crumpled from his saddle and sank to the clouded sward, sprinkling the parched dust with crimson droplets of escaping life fluid. The enthused barbarian swiveled about, his shock of fiery red hair tossing robustly in the humid air currents as he faced the attack of the defeated soldier's fellow in arms. "Damn you, barbarian!" shrieked the soldier as he observed his comrade in death. A gleaming scimitar smote a heavy blow against the renegade's spiked helmet, bringing a heavy cloud over the accordion's misting brain. Shaking off the effects of the pounding blow to his head, Grigner brought down his scarlet-streaked edge against the soldier's crudely forged hauberk, clanging harmlessly to the left side of his opponent. The soldier's steed, I think he means steed, whinnied as he directed the horse back from the driving blade of the barbarian. Notice that the steed whinnied while directing apparently himself. Grigner leashed his mount forward as the hoarsely piercing battle cry of his wilderness-bred race resounded from his grinding lungs. A twirling blade bounced harmlessly from the mighty thief's buckler as his rolling right arm cleft upward, sending a foot of blinding steel ripping through the Cimmerian's exposed gullet. A gasping gurgle from the soldier's writhing mouth as he tumbled to the golden sand at his feet and wormed agonizingly in his deathbed. And it just gets worse from there. It is so damn bad. So
Amazing.
bad. And yeah, the contest is you have to get through that. They have a whole group of people sitting like in a circle. And what you do is you read it and you read until you either laugh or mispronounce a word, at which point you sit down and the next person takes over. It is quite a contest. Yeah.
It sounds fun though.
Yeah, it is good times. It is terrible. Okay. So where were we when I got completely thrown off by all this? So I think you were going to roll once more. Sorry, Carol. This is your fault, though. You have no one to blame but yourself. So it's completely your fault. In the meantime, 2 4s and 1 2. See, Carol was inspired by it. That's why he did this. 2 4s and 1 2. All right. Well, that's 5 4 3. No. All right. I would be able to read out more than 2 words. Well, it doesn't even make sense. It's like when I was in graduate school, Hadnix, I ended up having to do a translation exam. I had to do a couple of translation exams, Italian and French, for my Renaissance doctoral work. And I ended up having this one. I was trying to read French literary criticism. So I ended up calling my mother, who had been a French teacher. And I read out this sort of passage to her that I wasn't understanding. And I read it to her, and there was this long silence. And then she said, "Greg, that doesn't make sense even in French." And I was like, welcome to French philosophy. So that's what this would be like, Hadnix. It doesn't even make sense in English. Okay, so we are victorious over this guy. We have defeated this bastard torturer. Death to the torturer. The torturer who sent hundreds to their deaths has met his own. As you lay down the axe, the Erdian spy smiles across the dungeon to you. Gain 2 experience marks. Best of luck to you, Sagard. May we fight side by side another time. Drink this ambroth. The Sultoon has your sword. Regain 12 hit points. Damn. And save the container.
The person who literally proclaimed she is a spy. That's
I can be trusted because I've told you I'm a spy. You may drink the remainder of the ambroth at any time to regain 5 hit points. So ambroth Okay, at any time. Before you can respond, she vanishes up the stairs. Your brutal battle has awakened the other prisoners, and you smash their chains with the torturer's axe. Death to the Sultoon, you shout as they roar out, bent on avenging their long torture. In moments, the royal compound is in turmoil. The escaped prisoners, fighting with unpent fury, set upon the palace guards in a berserk rage. Reaching the portal to the Great Dome, you spy the Sultoon and 3 of his palace guards running down the steps. Bring me their heads, the Sultoon shouts, and the guards rush toward the besieged building, leaving the Sultoon alone on the palace steps. Your blood boils as you see your sword in the Sultoon's hand. Now, Sultoon, you may see how I fight, you shout, charging him with your crimson-stained battle axe. A sharp smile creases the Sultoon's thin lips as he draws his sword and strikes first. All right, so now we have to fight Sultoon Fakati, and he is not easy.
So, what is a Sultoon anyway?
So, a Sultoon apparently is this game's version of a sultan. So basically just, you know...
Is that a typo?
Yeah, no, if so, they keep making it. I think that's actually what they said. Maybe they thought that Sultoon was copyright. I have no idea. But, yeah. So, all right. Here we go, Carol. Yeah, it's a badly... I actually kept thinking of Splatoon. So I just kept giving this image of, like, is he covered in paint? Or like...
He is a squid person. Oh god, he's an illithid.
He's an illithid. Ah! Yeah, at least there's not 4 of them. Very true, Ernth. Okay, let's do it up here, Carol. So, we've got here the Sultoon. The time has come. Okay, a 2. So, with that 2, you're going to do, I believe, 2 points of damage to him. Okay, now he's going to roll 4. Damn. 3 points of damage. Okay. Up next.
So when is the fire demon going to show up?
He did at the beginning.
Oh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. But, like, when are we going to murderize him?
I think that's the only time. It's going to be one of those deals where, like, the whole book is called him, but he only shows up once.
Really?
I don't know. I hope not. Okay, a 1. You're making us look bad in front of the fake Sultan, Carol. Okay, with 1, I think that still gives... Nope, only 1 point of damage to him.
Oh, do you guys have Is No Good in the US?
Is No Good. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a French comic series.
I don't think so.
By the same writer. Oh, don't let me lie. I think it was the same writer that did Asterix, but like...
Oh, wow. No, I know, like, obviously no Asterisk, but not that one.
No, it's like about... oh god, like an evil Grand Vizier or something, who wants to become Caliph instead of the Caliph. That's like a catchphrase.
Right. Well, because that viziers always have to want to get past the...
Like to overthrow the ruler.
What's up, Rogan? Yeah, Is No Good wants to be Sultan instead of the Sultan. Like, they always do that, right? Has there ever been a vizier who was not a bad guy? Like, I feel like every vizier ever was clearly the bad guy. Okay, so keep it up, Carol. Let's keep making this happen as we continue to charge forward. Give me 1 sec also. What? Oh, I have the wrong...
Yes, same author as Asterix. Rini Goscinny. Or Goscinny? I don't know how to pronounce that one.
Yeah, I got the 4 already, Carol. Okay. Okay, 3. All right, let's see what we got with the 3. 3 points of damage. Okay, now we're starting to cook with gas here. Uh-oh, so is he, though. Slashes you. Right, down to 15. We're hanging in there. We're all right. We're not getting crushed here. Another 3. Okay. I like it. We're definitely doing what we need to do. Okay. On we go. A 4. Oh, see? Oh, actually, wait. I never rolled that one. Okay, 1.
Wait, so you guys don't have Is No Good in the US?
I don't think so. I don't believe so. Because I think I would have known about... At least we didn't when I was growing up. I don't know if we do now, but... I don't think so. If any is... Anyone know from the U.S. Have you ever seen Is No Good? I don't think I've seen that. Okay, so keep... let's see. We've got... Oh, how to get that.
I mean, you guys barely have Asterix, so...
What?
Like, I mean, like... Asterix is not hugely popular in the U.S., is it?
It's... Well... I don't know. I mean, it's not hugely popular, but it's certainly known here.
Yeah. But, like, aside from that, like, you have Tintin.
Yes. And oh, God, did I love Tintin growing up. My daughter really loves it, too.
Hmm?
My daughter really loves the Tintin books, too.
Do you have Spirou?
Spirou.
No, Spirou.
Spirou. I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
You have Lucky Luke, though, right? That would be weird if you didn't have.
Which one?
Lucky Luke.
Yeah, I've heard of Lucky Luke. I don't remember. I don't really know a lot about it, but I have heard of it.
No, just like if you have heard of it, like.
Yeah, Spirou, I've not heard of. No. Okay, so you strike him down, Caro. Nice work. All right. So we have killed Sultoon Fakati. Death to the Sultoon. Oh, I wonder if they have an illustration of this guy. Oh, I really hope so, because this guy looks like General Zod.
Okay.
Death to the Sultoon.
Like the one from the old Superman movies, or
yeah,
from...
old one.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean when I actually pull it up, if it shows. Damn it.
Like, I know I've seen these movies when I was a kid, but like all I remember from them was like the god-awful styrofoam sets, like for the Fortress of Solitude.
Yes, that's very
like
very true.
Everything was plastic and styrofoam, I think.
Although the effect, actually, I have to say, the effect, the trial in Superman 2, and then when they get put into the two-dimensional, prison, whatever, that was pretty cool. I mean, I thought, as a kid, I thought that was fairly impressive.
Zone.
The Phantom Zone, right.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, this is what he looks like.
Oh, let me see. Oh, he has a snazzy hat.
He has a snazzy hat, and then he's got the... But
Beard.
he's got that beard going on, so... May you die in agony, Ratican, the Sultoon mutters as he slumps to the ground. Taking your sword from his grasping hands, you regain all of its powers. Note this on your status chart. Okay, so we got the broadsword again, which means that we can... Broadsword.
Ooh, we can broadsword. Sweet.
Extra point of damage.
How do we broadsword?
We can do an extra point of damage with this said broadsword. And we get 2 experience marks, and tearing an amulet from around his neck, we gain 2,000 gold pieces. Woo! So that means that we've got the money we need to launch this thing.
And we are now encumbered and can only move at snail speed.
That's true. Now that we have all the treasure we need, head to Section 1. Leave Tabu Bel Abu and the treacherous scimitars behind. Forever. Okay. Section 21. You were introduced to Asterix and Obelix when you were a kid. My father spent several years in France, got nearly all the comics from back in the 60s. French comics are hardbound. Yeah, and I had a lot of the Asterix ones, too. I liked Asterix, but not as much as Tintin. Tintin was my jam, but so good. Okay, so good. So we are set there, and I think we're actually going to pull up a save point here because we're going to move on, continue, but want to put a save point because we did a lot there. All right, we got ourselves the money. Dark journeys. Meanwhile, oh, they have a meanwhile. Meanwhile, the nightmare drums of Ushadi beat again. The dark sorcerer rubs a twisted amulet which he retrieved from the depths of the underworld, and the fire demon arises. Now, what do I need to bring myself to perfection? The sorcerer shouts. You must have animal courage. The flickering demon responds. And whence does this force come? The sorcerer asks. From the heart of a brave man. The flame demon hisses. With that, the sorcerer utters a dark incantation to unseen spirits, and the dirt begins to roll like the waves of the sea. A skeletal hand appears above the churning ground, and then another. The fingers twitch as they begin digging their bodies from their own graves. Scarred gray heads emerge looking about darkly with zombie eyes. Ushadi's dark forces have risen from their graves. Search, my men, and bring me the heart of a brave man. In Tabu Bel Abu, the price on your head has been raised to 4,000 gold pieces, and nearly everybody hopes to gain the reward. Thus, knowing that your life will be short if you stay, and hoping to investigate the legend of Sanda Ul, you gather your gold, visit a potion giver, regain all hit points, I like to see that, and make a hasty midnight exit from the city of minarets and dark treachery on a swift horse. Do you have at least 1,500 gold pieces? Yes, we do. Just a few minutes south of the city, you come upon a fork in the road. Both roads lead to Sin Da Ville, where you will exchange your gold for guides and workers. The coastal route, which follows the Hitaxian shoreline, is longer but safer. The inland route is more dangerous but faster. All right, what direction should we go, folks?
Well, given that like the cowardly route has already cost us experience points once.
That's true.
Always go for the danger zone.
That's true. Always go for the danger zone. So, let's see. Coastal.
I really want Archer to come back. That was such a good show.
Yeah, I only saw, I think, the pilot episode. I didn't watch the other ones. Shorter.
Like, I really didn't care for it initially, but like then like a few episodes and I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah. No, I heard a lot of good things about it. I don't know why I didn't go back to it, but okay. So what's it going to be, guys? Are we going to go for the coastal route, longer but safer, or the inland route, faster but more dangerous? You like the scenic route? What shall we do? Whatever we do, we will do it impressively.
What do you mean hideously?
I like that. Yeah, exactly. Dreadfully. I like that we will. I like that we've actually. You had a chance to use your drawing on multiple occasions because we got back to the fire demon again.
Oh, sweet.
Because they have this.
Because I'm having ambitions with this one.
I like it. No, they keep having these cutscenes. You know, like they keep having these interludes. Like, meanwhile, back at the evil guys. Oh, really, Rogan? All right, it's a tie score. 4 people want to take the coastal route. 4 people want to take the inland route. All right, we're going to need someone to break this tie. Aha! Someone has chosen, Aradinel has chosen the coastal route. Spoken like someone from Maine.
Lose 50 experience.
Yeah, exactly. Spoken like someone from Maine. The power of the coast. Why do you boo? Oh, coasts are good. What's up, Purgy?
But the danger, the adventure.
Caro's like, then there's the thing with the really long tail. I think the more like freaky you make your demon, the more people are like, yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go this place.
Ah, wonderful.
Danger is our middle name. Sagard, Danger, the Barbarian.
I was about to ask, what is the last name?
Well, the last name clearly is the Barbarian, right? Like, it's not Barbarian. Okay. Oh, damn it, Arenth. He has tied it again. Inland route, faster but more dangerous. We're tied at 5-5. I'm going to last call this. We will need someone to break this tie. Sagard the Danger Barbarian. Sagard the Curvaceous Danger Barbarian. A true barbarian has no... Barbaria. I like Barbaria because I like the idea that there's actually, like, a land where the barbarians live, and it's called Barbaria. That seems about as non-subtle as you could get.
With Barbarius, his father, and Barbara, his
yeah,
mother.
exactly.
Is that like Baba Papa?
And his baby brother, Barbaby. Brahms has voted for the coastal route. All right, people who keep thinking it's funny that we tie. Come on. We need to break this tie.
I have to vote.
We must break the tie. You might have to. I don't know. Barbara.
There is like this really old, really old, know, like as old as the internet, German meme about because we have like a lot of words in German that like sound similar to barbar,
Okay.
which is the German word for barbarian, and so like somebody like back in the olden days of the olden internet made like a thing where it's just like this ever growing longer word of things with barbarians, barbers, and barbara, and like a vegetable which we call rhabarber.
Nice.
English name, and like, you know, like in German we have compound words, so you can just keep meshing words together and make them longer and longer and longer and longer, and so yeah.
And more confusing.
Yes.
Yeah, rhubarbarian.
Yeah.
Barbarian.
Yes.
Barbarella.
Well, I mean, that's like a character.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you know, it's that's the kind of thing that happens though. You get into Barb and no one knows where you're gonna end up. All right, someone's gonna need this vote this tie. Terry's gonna need to jump in and vote here. You can always change vote, by the way. You can always go $ change vote space, and then the number of the one you'd like to change the vote to, if you would like to change your vote. But right now, chat is evenly split. Some people want speed, some people want safety. Digging this music. All right, Terry. Better get in here and get this vote.
Oh, okay. Wait, what was the question?
Question was, do we go on the coastal route, which
Well,
is
I
longer
mean,
but
that's
safer, or the inland route, faster, more dangerous?
Where's the dollar sign on this keyboard?
Effect life. Rabarber, barben, barbier, barbell, rhubarb, Barbara, barbarians, beard, barber, beer,
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
barbell. That's the best.
Bärbel is the name. Bärbel.
Okay. Oh, Kooky, sorry, but you were going to move in that direction. Okay, we're taking the inland route, people. No
Yes,
coast.
danger.
You're going to danger. All right, here we go. Section 15, the landward route. In the late afternoon, you come upon a small trading town composed mostly of tents where you are accosted by Hitaxians in search of gold coins. A diminutive Hitaxian boldly shoves through the crowd. Radican, I can be of great help to you for one small gold coin. I need no help, you say, waving the pest off. You need more than you think, he says, drawing a long wooden sword. Irritated, you draw your own sword. Think before you strike me, shorty, you respond. Nobody calls me Shorty and lives, he responds, taking a whack at your leg and jumping on your horse. He starts stabbing at you from above, giving him an effective level 3 fighting strength. You must fight him, you may not flee. So I want to point out that we are literally fighting Shorty. I just want to point out, you've heard of Get Shorty? So we're fighting Shorty. Shorty has 7 hit points because he is short. So, Shorty.
I like how well this fits with like my rendition of Sagard.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to like the official artwork, which like that would be like, okay, but like how tiny is this person?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's shorter than Sagard.
Exactly. So let's do the job here, Caro. Let's take down this, starting with a 4. So you're just like, get off, whoop-ow! And because it's, again, we have our sword back, so now we do 4 points of damage, so he's down to 3. Okay, meanwhile, he rolls a 4. Oh, he rolls a 4. He's like, take this, eh? Okay. All right.
What is this, Skeletor?
Well, man. I always thought that voice was like, how can that voice just know? Like, that voice just does not work. I just don't understand the, like, wah. Another 4. Okay, so we just 2-shot this guy. Take that, Shorty. When you have defeated Shorty, go to 17. Okay. Shorty on his back. A disheveled throng of Hitaxian beggars gather as the irritating Hitaxian lies on his back with your sword at his throat. Spare me, and I will give you very important information, he begs. Annoyed by the miserable character, you consider running him through, not knowing what the throng will do. Do you wish to dispatch him, or do you wish to let him live and see what information he might have? So, do we save Shorty? Sorry, do we kill Shorty? or save Shorty?
Well, we all watched 300, so...
This is Shorty!
No, that's not what I mean.
No, I was just doing it so I could say this is Sparta.
Of course. Here come the older memes. No, because of, like, what was his name again? Like, you know, the deformed guy.
Yeah,
like,
I don't remember the dude's name.
But yeah, he... Like him selling it, like, the Spartans out.
Yep. Well, that again, yeah, it's like a vizier, which was the most predictable thing of all time. Like, again, that's like the vizier, you know, always wanting to be sultan. Like, this pretty much, whenever you get that guy...
I mean, like, the thing is, if, like, Leonidas would have treated him with respect, like, you know, he didn't have to make him a soldier, he could just have him tag along and, like, have him help out otherwise, because, you know, there are other things to do than just fight in an army. So...
I guess, but like basically my point is Joe Pesci's character, like whoever Joe Pesci plays, that guy's not trustworthy. Like if you ever have Worm Tongue, like the Worm Tongue equivalent, you can never trust that guy. He's like the what's his name from Judge Dredd. He's like the Rob Schneider. He's like the Rob Schneider character of this game.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I looked him up. He was like the am I being funny? Like, right? That's
right,
that guy.
That guy. Yeah. While Sylvester Stallone was Judge Dredd, which always amused me.
So, I am done with this picture.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Look at that, chat. The fire demon.
Actually, I can do more. I can do more with this.
And more fire demon. Okay, and I'm going to close that because I think everyone agrees that we want to save Shorty. All right, let's see what information he might give. Section 20. Shorty talks. The Hitaxian stutters and tears moisten his eyes. You are so kind, O great Radican. I shall pray for you on my grandfather's grave. Cut the jabber and give me the information you promised. You say, your patience severely tested. If you see a crumpled man lying in the great road of our fond ancestors, do not stop for him, no matter what great spirits of famous northern compassion seize your worthy soul. He will do you nothing but harm. That's the information, you ask. It may save your mighty life, O great Radican, he responds. For a moment you consider slitting his miserable throat, but then you ride away like the great southern wind. As you do, you turn to see him thumb his nose at you before he scampers away. So, according to Shorty, do not save the crumpled man. Now, the problem is we don't know whether or not we can believe Shorty, or if Shorty is just as much of a punk with his information as he was when he was trying to take us down with a sword. That's the problem. So we don't really know. So we'll have to figure that out, I guess. Okay. Section 19. Southward to Sin-Davil. By mid-afternoon, you have ridden far beyond the cultivated fields which surround Tabu Bel Abu and have the road to yourself. Having left Tabu Bel Abu in a great hurry, you forgot to pack food. Thus, it is with both relief and dread that you come upon a sinister-looking way station. After tying your horse, you carefully carry your bag of gold into the smoky den filled with gaudy Hitaxians, black-garbed Tenites, and sleazy Medigian traders. As you set down the bag of gold, it lets out a telltale metallic clang. Several eyes look up from their cards and steins of ale and watch you with menace. At this point, you may leave the tavern, keep riding, and lose 3 hit points for hunger damage. Or you may stay in the tavern. So, before we go any further, we have to ask, or do we keep eating? All right, chat, what do we do? Leave the tavern and take hit point damage for hunger, or do we keep eating? Is this a buffet? It's a good question. And this is what the people look like. Carousing is right. What kind of meat is it? That's a good question. I don't think you've actually eaten the meat. Alright, everyone says to keep eating. I'm going to last call it.
Oh god, is that like the scene from the Walking Dead game with like the don't eat the meat?
Oh god. That was rough.
Yeah.
It's probably just luncheon meat. I've always liked the idea of luncheon meat because you literally have no idea what that means. Luncheon meat is just meat. Indeterminate meat. Okay, so we have people strongly in favor, so I'm going to close this poll of keeping eating. Okay. As you eat a revolting, overspiced Hitaxian dish, regain 5 hit points. The men pay little attention to you, save for an occasional menacing glance. Section 16. On the road. Leaving the tavern behind, you ride for several hours under the star-filled sky. In the depths of night, you spot a line of torches across the road not far ahead. Though you stop to look, you cannot make out who mans the torches. Now you have 3 options. You may turn back for the tavern, you may ride off the road into the desert, or you may ride to the torchmen. Ride back, whoops. Ride back to the tavern. Ride off the road. Keep going. The torchman. These ones are also saying things like, if you're not going to go to the torchman, stop reading right here. And I'm like, really? The whole reason that you have people switch pages is because you can't rely on people. Like, even as it was, people would cheat and would kind of peek at the next section. Like, and you're going to tell them, don't read ahead? No one does that. Alright, so what are we going to do? We're going to keep going towards the torchman, or we're going to ride back to the tavern, or are we going to ride off the road? Exactly, Rogan. Don't read ahead, definitively read ahead. Exactly. It's even worse. Like, don't read ahead. You're like, okay, sounds good. Read. Like,
there we go. Now this one is done.
Nice. Check that out. That's awesome.
Okay, so I wasn't really paying attention. What happened?
So, right now, we are deciding about whether we're going to ride down the road. I think there's going to be a good one for you to draw coming up in just a second, though. Okay. But draw towards the road. So basically, the choices are, there's a set of torches ahead. So the question is, turn back for the tavern, ride off the road and into the desert, or ride to the torchman. And it looks like people are riding the torchman right now, riding towards the torchman. They're not riding the torchman. That would... I mean, I'll just, yeah. Yeah.
So what should I draw? Riding the horseman.
Great. If we would go out in a blaze of glory. What happened to Arv's Twitch channel? And well, he had one last great moment. You find me from now. I'm like the end of. I'm like at the end of Logan. Like 20 years from now, working in some like, you know, 7-Eleven in Arizona. Like having after like we all went south after I decided to let Terry draw that. Horse riding a whole what? Do I want to click on this? What? I like the fact that there's a light and signs on it too.
Oh, that's from Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay.
You ever watched that?
No, I didn't. I know about it, but I never watched it.
Okay, yeah, like basically like one of the main characters runs like one of those roadside attraction thingies where like all the attractions are fake.
Okay.
And like this is one of them.
That's awesome. Okay, poll closed. All right, so we're going to keep going towards the torchman. All right. Riding onward, you come upon a line of 4 Hitaxian soldiers in billowing garb. They are stern-looking men, but unlike most Hitaxians you have come across, they do not look like brigands. Halt, Radakin, and pay your toll, one of them calls. I have heard of no such toll, you respond. What is the price? For you, for your insolence, it will be 1 silver piece. Happily you pay your toll. Do not bother to mark such small change off your status chart. Ride onward to section 26. Okay, here's where I think you'll be able to do this. So, section 26, riding through the night. After riding several moonlit miles, you come upon a heap in the road. Suspicious of traps, you approach warily. The pile is a crumpled man and his horse. Knowing that such ruses are often used to trick travelers into stopping for an ambush, you consider riding past. Please help me, kind man. You will be richly rewarded, says a thickly accented voice. Drawing closer, you observe that the man is of some western race, perhaps from Sing Chu. Though you know that traders and holy men from those distant realms often venture this far south, you know also that they may well be songs or banished ones, who, forced to leave their own country, have come here to prey on travelers. May the Great Spirit punish you if you do not help me, the man mutters as you stare down on him. Knowing that you are vulnerable, you must decide whether to stop and help him or ride into the night. Now, this is one thing I want to say. I want to make one note here. Shorty did say do not save the crumpled man, but Shorty literally, as we were watching him, thumbed his nose at us before he ran off into the crowd. So personally, I have not looked at the entry, I have no idea. But personally, I do not know whether, again, remember my mantra, never trust the Joe Pesci character. I don't know whether I buy that this guy was telling us the truth. But I will leave it up to chat to decide. That's just me. I'm literally just like, I don't know. Something seems dirty about that guy. I'm just saying. Crumpled man.
Well, he did threaten us like that, like.
He said the Great Spirit would do it.
Yeah, like, but that's like a threat, right? So, who's the Great Spirit?
I mean, you know, if God tells you that, you know, you have to kind of, I don't know. God.
I mean, like, we are playing like a Conan type character.
Sure.
Like Conan is like hugely superstitious.
Yeah,
right?
he is. Like by Crom, you know.
Beware of like magic and supernatural stuff. It's so like, you would like take a threat by.
But he might also be freaked out by it, right? Like he might be like, "Oh, I do not want curses." Like if the guy was like, "Help me, or I'll hit you in the face with my dagger," then then Sagard would be like, "Go, F yourself."
No, that's what I mean. He would take the threat seriously, probably.
That's true. But I guess the question is, would he take it seriously and like, sort of? Yeah, he would not diminish it. I guess the question is whether he'd like actually go along with it. Because I feel like if he were facing something that possibly had superstitious potential, he might be like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. Whereas if it was a guy threatening to get into a fight with him, he'd be like, all right, let's throw down. Like this is like not out in this is not necessarily in his wheelhouse. So what do we do? Do we help the crumpled man or don't help him? So far we got 2 help, 1 don't help. I think we have chat thinking seriously about whether we can trust Shorty or not. Because I personally, I don't know about Shorty. What bothers me is the fact that Shorty ran away, and before he ran away, thumbed his nose at us. Thumbed his nose basically means like he does this, which basically means, he basically flipped us off. Like, why would he help us and then flip us off? That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in the book, it makes it clear that you're watching him, and like it seems like you're almost out of like visual range, and then he does that, almost like, he's not expecting you to be looking. I don't know. I think Shorty's dirty, man. He's a dirty man. And anyway, this what I was thinking about was this, because depending on what happens here, we're about to hear a lot more from this crumpled man, I think. So I'm guessing that this crumpled man might be a good one to do, but we'll see. No, I'm not backseating. I don't mean to backseat. I'm just telling you, I'm not taking a vote. I'm just telling you, I don't trust Joe Pesci, that's all. Basically, this is just an anti-Joe Pesci comment.
What has Joe Pesci ever done to you?
He's played too many characters that I can't trust. I've been betrayed by his characters too many times. Yes. Yeah. I can't trust, even in Lethal Weapon, he was not a good guy. You just can't trust the Joe Pesci character. It's like looking at Gary Oldman and not thinking that he's going to eventually turn out to be a bad guy, with one exception. Actually,
I was about to say, didn't he play a good guy in Harry Potter?
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking, that's true. Yeah, I guess so. I was thinking about him in the Batman movies, because in the Batman movies, he's the commissioner.
Yeah, he plays Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. But usually he kind of plays like the semi-creepy dude. But yeah, you're right. I forgot about the Harry Potter thing. Maybe he's changing his reputation. Maybe he's just like, I don't want to be that guy anymore. Maybe.
Like I've seen The Professional, where he's a villain. Then like
in the Book of Eli, he's the bad guy.
Seen that one. What was the name again? Also French movie. God damn it, Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. Yep. Yep.
Trying to think of any other movies I've seen with him, but I can't think of any.
That was the thing about Batman. The Batman movies is that he was playing against type. But now that he's starting to become like all Mr. I need to be a good guy more of the time. That's what happens. These people all go soft. They play a bunch of villains and then they're like.
He's old now, so.
Is that why?
Oh, I did not know that he played Sid Vicious. Apparently.
He was Dr. Smith in Lost in Space, 1998. Yeah. Now he did play Churchill. So I guess you couldn't say he was a bad guy when he played Churchill. But that's a little different. I mean,
I'm just looking through his IMDb page. I'm like, I have never heard of like 90% of these movies.
yeah, a lot of these movies were not. He was obviously he was in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead. He was great in that. With oh gosh.
Oh yeah, he played Dracula. That's also
he played Dracula. Yep. That's it. See, exactly, Aaron. No, he's playing the same character, new costume over and over. That's what I mean. He was Dracula also. He played Tim Roth. That's who it was in Rosencrantz, Guildenstern Dead. Okay, so we're going to help the crumpled man. We're about to find out whether Shorty was trustworthy or not, because we're helping the crumpled man against Shorty's advice. So let's see. Aid to the Sing Chunian. The crumpled man gulps water from your canteen, and life seems to return to him. His trembling hand reaches into his belt, and he pulls out a small pouch. Take this, barbarian. You have saved my life. The purse contains 500 gold pieces. See? See? See?
Well, and then it turns out it was fake gold. And
yeah, and then the gold actually is acidic, and it burns you. You have all of my money, but for a ride to the hostelry, I shall be eternally in your debt, Radakin. Good things come to those who are owed by Sing Chunians. Stashing the purse into your belt, you consider taking him up on his offer, for surely he will perish on the road eventually if you do not help. Will we help him? Alright, I'm basically going to be asking the exact same thing again. Same vote. Help the crumpled man or not?
So, what does crumpled mean in this context anyway?
Like just sort of like over, like curled up on the ground, basically, as if you were a crumpled piece of paper. This dude gave us 500 gold pieces. What is that emote, Mr. Carl Smile? For a minute, I thought you had found a Joe Pesci emote, Mr. Erden. I mean, the thing is, Joe Pesci, it turns out to be the snitch in Casino. I think he's in Goodfellas, and he's the snitch. He's the bad guy in Lethal Weapon also. He's not the bad guy, but he's like, you can't trust him.
Didn't he play one of the wet bandits in Home Alone?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Now, he did play a good guy in My Cousin Vinny. He was the lawyer. So he did do that. But most of the time, Joe Pesci is not to be trusted. I mean, as an actor.
Quick question. So we started late. Are we gonna end late too?
Well, a little late. Well, not super late, though. We'll probably go to like 3:15, so we'll probably got like 45 minutes.
Then I'm gonna get myself something to drink, if that's okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Task for me.
That sounds like a plan.
Okay. Be right back.
It's old Carl Sagan. Is that what it is, Purgy? He is the Italian archetype. He gets typecast too much. Yeah, well, yeah, he just sort of chooses these roles. Well, it's like, okay, it's like you always look like, if you ever put Jack Nicholson in a movie, you know at some point he's going to be like, I do not have the time or the energy to take, like, you know he's going to do some part where he's going to be mad and yelling. You can't handle the truth. Here's Johnny. Like, he, you know, at some point he's going to get mad and yell at somebody. Like, that's what he does, right? if you have Samuel L. Jackson in a movie, you know at some point he's going to be like, Yoda said no, mother bleeper. Like at some point, whether it's Star Wars or something else, Samuel L. Jackson is going to swear or the equivalent at somebody and act like a badass. That's Samuel L. Jackson. So Joe Pesci is just the guy who always is the guy you can't really trust. And even if he turns out to be okay, you're still kind of like, are you okay? Or are you kind of sketchy? Because, you know. Schwarzenegger is the, was the one-liner action hero guy for a long time. Before California decided to make him a, their governor in his infinite wisdom. Alright, we're going to last call this. You said you liked Shorty, not that you trusted him. I kind of like you, Shorty. I had this image that we're going to get this vote like 4 or 5 times where it's going to be like, help me now, and he's going to build up this whole series of helps, and then like the 6th time that we help him, he's going to be like, haha, mask, it's Darth Vader. Like, oh, god damn it. I have a feel that's what's happening. Okay, so we are helping him again. All right, so let's see if we are correct. Section 28, helping the Sung Chunian. All right, my friend, I will take you, you say. That will not be necessary, for my fellow priests are all around. Thinking the man delirious, you pick him up, only to discover you are surrounded by Sing Chu priests. Uh-oh. Thinking yourself tricked, you rip your sword from its sheath and prepare for a harsh death. That will not be necessary, the priest you have saved says, for we are friends. You have a strange way of showing it, you respond, still gripping your sword. One of the Westerners holds a bag of gold out to you. Add 500 more gold pieces to your status chart. Heyo! We shall eat, Radaken. Skeptical of their strange customs, you walk off the road to a small camp with the Sing Chu priests. As you eat strange food by a raging fire, they tell you of their bizarre religion. Regain all hit points. It is Kuzkan's will that we search the world for good men and reward them. And it is Kuzkan's will that we search the world for evil men and destroy them. A good man will help a stranger in trouble. An evil man will pass him by. If you had passed him by, we would have killed you. But you did not. You helped him, and therefore are a good man, and thus are rewarded. Bandits of the road use similar tricks, you say. Do not question the will of Kuzkan, a priest says. Okay. You say, shut up, I'll do what I want. They attack you. No. As you leave, the Westerners offer you one last gift. In a neat carrying pouch are 6 Kuzar throwing stars. Sweet. Okay, you may throw 2 throwing stars per turn. Each one will do 4 automatic hit points of damage to any opponent you throw it at, unless you flip a 1, which is a miss. Damn! Okay.
Wait, so like without any training, we are handed out a bunch of shuriken and are expected to just be able to hit shit with it?
We need no training. We have trained our biceps.
Well, where's the picture of like somebody like having thrown an axe and it's like stuck with a wooden end in the wall? It's like strength for like if you're strength high enough, you don't need dexterity.
Is that up to 2? Yeah, 2 per turn. Except on. All right. These guys tried to kill me, just setting us up to do their dirty work. Well, it's odd, though, that he wouldn't have said something about that. Okay. So we've got 6 Kuzar stars. Let's see. Lovely. Cool. All right. All right, folks. That was useful. We did our job. Also, as I told you all, can't trust Shorty. Proved it. Just saying I proved it. I have demonstrated it again. Do not trust Shorty. All right. Here we go. Section 40. This is awesome. The hostile hostel. Get it? Hostel. Hostel. After hours of riding on the dusty road, you arrive in Sin-Davil. This city is a cluttered slum by comparison to Tabu Bel Abu. Its streets are covered in filth. Its people, save for wealthy Ataxians and foreign merchants, are clothed in rags, and its scent is that of a stable. As it is past dusk, the slave markets are closed. Therefore, you find a place to spend the night. Wait a minute, are we going to have to buy slaves? Because
Hey, fun times!
Feeling wealthy, you approach the finest inn in the city, but quickly set your horse in another direction upon learning that nightly lodging is 1,000 gold pieces. Jesus, what? After much searching and unpleasant dealings with haughty clerks, you settle on a Motel 6. No, you settle on a shabby hostelry near the slave markets, which costs a ridiculous 100 gold pieces, but it has a locking door and a bed. Better than a locking bed and a door, I guess. 3,200. As long as they have a safe word, it's cool. Tired from your journey, you fall quickly to sleep, regain all hit points. In the middle of the night, you hear stirrings and awaken with a start to see several Hitaxian peasants who bear an uncanny resemblance to overgrown rats rummaging through your bags. Jumping out of bed, you narrowly escape a dagger wielded by one of these Hitaxian brigands. As you awaken, the miserable swine scramble out of your room. In this fight, you will not want to flee because these creatures are easy to defeat. However, they will be trying to flee. Therefore, after each round of combat, flip to see if each of your opponents is able to flee by flipping a 4, and deduct 200 gold pieces for each one who gets away. Then flip for the remaining Hitaxian rats as they try to stab you. As you were sleeping when this rude assault took place, do not gain any benefits from your armor, which you don't have anyway because barbarian. Okay, so there are 7 rats, and I'm not going to add all of these rats in here, but each rat has 3. In fact, I'll just show you what the rats have. I'm gonna make them this way, so 7 and 3 stamina. Okay, so basically each turn, Sagard's going to try to take down a rat, and then they're going to try to flee. And we'll deduct 200 gold pieces for everyone that gets away. So Caro, let's go after this first rat. Hitaxian rat. Okay, a 3. That's going to do 3 points of damage. 1 rat, dead, blam. Okay, now, one of the, let's see. And then each one gets away. Okay, so now we're going to see if he flips. So if he gets a 4, one of them flees. He does not. Now the rest of them try to stab. So, okay, that one rolls a 3, that's a 0. 2, 0. 4, 0. 3, 0, 6, 0. Okay, they all missed. Okay, now second one, Caro. Okay, that's a 4. So again, they get dropped. Now one is going to try to flee. Will not do so. And now the rest of them are going to try to attack. The 4 that are left are going to attack. 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay, all of them missed. All right, third one, Caro. You're just slaughtering these things. It's just like cleave, 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 cleave. Another 4. Wow, you guys do not want to lose your gold. Can't blame me. All right. That one tries to escape and can't, and then we have 3 left. Miss, miss, and miss. These guys are not a big deal. Okay. Roll again here, Caro. We got 4 of them left. Every time you're just one shot. One shot. One shot. One shot. Because of the broadsword, you'd actually have to roll a 1 to not one-shot these guys. Okay, a 3. So there goes down another one. Okay, now there's 3 left. First one tries to flee. Doesn't do it. And the other 2 attack you. Ah, one finally hits you for 1 point of damage. Which is but a scratch. Alright, Caro. Just a flesh wound. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, that's going to take down this one. So now we have one is going to try to flee. Doesn't do it. And the other one's going to try to attack. Doesn't do it. Alright, 2 left, Caro. You're wasting this force. Yeah, we're definitely... You do not want to lose your money. 3. Down goes another one. One shot, one shot, one shot.
And another one bites the dust.
Yep. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. That one tried to flee and did not do it. All right. Go ahead and attack him, Caro. There's only one left. I think you've literally one-shot every single one of these guys. 4. Wow. Yeah, you just one-shot everybody. You just wrecked the Hitaxian rats. Okay. Section 35. Enough of Sin Deville. Separating your gold from the remains of the Hitaxian rats, you count your belongings and prepare to leave this wretched town. If you have less than 1,500 gold pieces, you don't, we have it. If you have at least 1,500 gold pieces, you proceed directly to the debtor's prison, where you may buy men for your safari team. Okay, we're not going to buy slaves, we're just going to buy people in debt, huh? The debtor's prison. As well as being poor, Sin Deville is corrupt. Nearly 1/5 of the population is housed in a massive debtor's prison, where an inmate works for the Sultan until one of his relatives buys his way out, or he is purchased by a slaver. At the great wrought iron gates to the prison, old women beg in vain, and children weep for their imprisoned relatives. It is a terrible sight. Stepping up to a slave seller, you inform him that you wish to buy several able men. The slimy Hitaxian, with more gold in his teeth and hanging from his ears and around his neck than you have in your pouch, informs you that the price of an able-bodied man is 150 gold pieces. I was told it was 100, you shout. Prices change, he responds. However, I might be able to make a special consideration if... Quickly realizing what he is looking for, you slip him 100 gold pieces, and the price drops to 100 gold pieces per man. At this point, you may buy as many debtors as you can afford for 100 gold pieces per man, keeping as much as you think you might need for various taxes at the border, and deducting 100 gold pieces for food, water, and spears. Mark the number of debtors who are in your party on your status chart, deduct the gold spent. Okay, so we have bought a bunch of debtors who are not our slaves, but then we're just going to say, well, we did save you. What's up, Lucathea? So, okay, so it means we drop 100, so it means because we need food and stuff, so that's 3,100. We need, the question now is how many men are we going to actually, how many debtors are we going to get? Because we need to save some money for tolls and stuff like that. So how much money do we want to save? Do we want to save like 500 gold, 1,000 gold? How many people basically want to get? It's 100 gold per. So how many do we want to get? Do we want to get, 5, 10? There's no real way I can put up a poll for this because it would take forever. But just give me a ballpark figure. 15, 20, 25? How many? 30? 30 would make it, we could do 30, but we'd only have 100 gold left. Their name is suspicious. Debtors. D-E-B-T-O-R-S, not debtors.
Oh.
Another thing, another debtors. 20, 25.
Wasn't that a thing in... oh yeah, isn't that what they call like the undead in Planescape?
Yeah, debtors.
Debtors.
Yep. Still suspicious nonstop? You can't trust people in debt. Am I right, nonstop?
If you ever do a Planescape thing, please sign me up for that.
Mm-hmm. I loved Planescape. The original Planescape was great.
I never got to play the tabletop, sadly.
I've actually only ever... Oh, no, I was talking about the video game. I've only ever played the tabletop game, I think, once. It was kind of cool. Not as weird because it was D&D focused. Like, the new, Monty Cook, basically said in that, is super
Numenera.
weird. Numenera. That's super weird. Planescape was a little more normal, so... But people who love Numenera really love it, so... They will be the army, yeah.
Played Numenera. Like, I even have the box version. I, played, the first 15 minutes or so, and then I had to, go to a thing at an appointment of some sort, and then I never picked it up again.
Oh, wow.
I pre-ordered the goddamn Pillars of Eternity 2 collector's edition box with all of the goodies, and I haven't played it at all yet. I'm
really?
The worst. I am the worst.
Oh my gosh, so good
I
too.
haven't played any straight up classical RPGs in a year at least. Ugh.
Okay, so I'm seeing 20, 25, and 20. So I'm gonna basically put up how many? 20. All right, so here we go. How many should we get? 20, 25, or 30? Are you talking about Baldur's Gate 2 or Pillars 2, Terry? Pillars 2?
Pillars 2.
Pillars 2. Okay,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the collector's edition for
Yep.
Baldur's Gate 2 is.
That would be a
I
whole
wish
other
I
thing.
had that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, I didn't.
But like, I became a fan like long after that game had its heyday. So.
Yep. So good, Baldur's Gate. Pillars. I don't know. You know, something about Pillars of Eternity never clicked for me. I mean, I played and won the first one, and it was fine. But I honestly found Tyranny to be more enjoyable than Pillars. I just found Pillars was a little... I didn't love the lore. I found it was kind of amorphous, like the combat was very unsatisfying somehow. I never felt like I was actually hitting anything. I felt like I was just moving my guys sort of towards them, and they were sort of things were happening, but I never felt the kind of visceral, you do this, this happens. And Tyranny was not like that. So even though Tyranny was a much simpler game, I think Tyranny holds together for me better than Pillars did. And so Pillars 2, I just have had so many other games that were on the docket that I never really got into that all that much. So I don't know. I might have to try it at some point.
Yeah, but like Pillars of Eternity 2 has a pirate theme. So
That's
like,
true, which definitely
like
is in
the
its
best game
favor.
ever.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's in its favor for sure.
But like, yeah, like I just haven't had the brain space to do any like, type of games that like call for a lot of like time and emotional commitment like that.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, I've mainly been playing console games, lots of Pokemon. So that doesn't call for any commitment of any sort.
A lot of Pokemon. Have you?
Yeah, I got a Switch for Christmas. That was nice.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I love my Switch. I actually just got I don't play. What's up, Cujo? I don't play a lot of games off stream, but the games that I play off stream have been mostly on my Switch of late. Like I played Golf Story, which was great. I played Axiom Verge, which is really good on that game, on that system. And I've got Owlboy because I was watching Rob play it. Yeah, Owlboy's pretty cool. I thought Owlboy was more Dark Soulsy, but it turns out it's not. Hollow Knight is Dark Soulsy, which is why I'm like, Hollow Knight may be great, but it's not my kind of game. But Owlboy was kind of cool, so.
How's the gameplay in Owlboy? Because like I was thinking about getting it, but like I don't like platformers.
Well, I mean, it's an adventure platformer. It would remind you a lot of kind of a cross between, it's not really a Metroidvania, although there are a lot of elements of that. Zelda and Metroid. There are the story. See, I think you would like the story a lot. I think you'd like the characters and the story.
Well,
I have
do
a
like
feeling.
The art style a lot, which is already a plus. But...
Yeah, I think you would like the story a lot. The gameplay is not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. There are boss fights and things like that, and you have different characters that basically you control. You move your person around with one of the analog sticks, and the other one is how you aim and fire, which I was worried was going to be difficult, but it actually really isn't that much. So I mean, so far I've enjoyed it, and I think it's a better story than I thought it was going to be originally. So I kind of like Owlboy, but it definitely has a lot of platforming elements though, so I can't say that it doesn't have that. But it really felt more like an adventure RPG, Metroid-y type of thing than that. Hollow Knight is more Metrovania. Yeah, but yeah, you know, the problem is, Brahms, though, I've seen that game played so many times. The boss fights are too difficult. You have to go through all of the enemies again. If you die, then you have a shade that you have to recover, or you lose all of those points. I mean, it's just like,
Oh, it's like also roguelike.
It's also roguelike. Now, it's not complete, not totally, because you don't go all the way back to the beginning and you don't lose everything, but there are elements of it that feel that way. The atmosphere is great, but I don't think for me the atmosphere is good enough to compensate for. I do not like heavy action platformer, precise movement, Super Meat Boy type games. Like that's just not my bag. So as much as I keep wanting to like Hollow Knight and be like, oh, I could buy that, but it's just, I would get so frustrated with it. Again, save anywhere, man. Save anywhere. Okay. We are going to close this poll. And we are going to 25. All right, 25. We have 25 debtors, which, to be clear, are not slaves. Okay? They are debtors who used to be slaves, and we have now freed them from their torment.
Aren't we heroes?
I want to be very clear about that. Assembling your group of debtors, you are embarrassed as they drop to their knees in thanks. Yeah, Axiom Verge is awesome. What can we do in repayment? One asks. Rise, friends, you say. We will trek together into the jungles and find the lost city of Sandaul. It will bring us either wealth or death. One of them, speaking for the others, says, anything is better than prison. So we're kind of bros. This is all good. We're actually not really slavers. That makes me feel much better. Okay. Section 38, the Hitaxian Gate. A great wall marks the southern border of Hitaxia. Once it was a beautiful structure, veneered with marble, but a Hitaxian sultan, I can't believe, really, that's the way they're going to keep that spelling, no matter what it costs them, stripped it for his palace. Now it is a dun-colored barrier which stretches from the Hitaxian Gulf to the Sea of Eternity. At the center of the wall is the Great Gate. Oh yeah, you want to save? That's fair. We should save, yes. Save point. Where was I? Through which is the Great Gate, through which all travelers from south to north must pass. Before leaving Hitaxia, you must face a tariff collector, and it will be a long wait. For hours, the blistering sun beats down on you. Hitaxian noblemen pass ahead of you with a shrewd wink and a quick bribe to their countrymen. Thus, your temper is up as your motley group reaches the tax collector, a man whose face is etched with callousness and arrogance made more unbearable by the presence of 2 stern guards. Your tariff will be 300 gold pieces. If you have the gold pieces left, you may pay this greedy swine. If you have no interest in being fleeced once more in Ataxia or do not have the gold, you may try to intimidate him. Now, we do have the gold. We do have the gold, but it would bring us down to 300, but we do have it. So, the question is... or try to intimidate him. How small are those gold pieces? Well, I mean, we just used up a lot of it. I mean, most of this is still the Sultan's money, right? I guess some of it now is also the the guy that we saved's money, too. But, you know, I mean, we have it. So we would be down to 300 gold. That would still give us enough to feed people. So we have it. But it'll be getting a little close to the line, I'll admit. We had like 1,500. Yeah. We had more than that. We had at one point 3,200 gold. Which for the record is a lot of gold pieces. That's why in a way I think it's miraculous that we... Yeah, like I think we didn't get attacked by... It amazes me we didn't get attacked by anybody in the tavern. And I wonder if that's because they were like, oh, I'm not carrying all that crap home. Like, you know. Wow, chat does not want to lose their money. They're like, get off of my money. Wow, look at that. People want to intimidate this guy. All right.
Capitalist swine!
You will pay for your late-stage capitalism! Okay. I'm a rogue at heart. Keep all the gold. All right. You guys wanted to do this. We're going to intimidate him. Let's see what happens. Okay. No tribute. Leaning down to the greedy Hitaxian, you look him squarely in the eye. I have no gold, you say, and less intention of paying your tariff. Then I will send you to debtor's prison. Drawing your sword, you respond, I will reach debtor's prison as you reach the Isle of Night. Making reference to the Hitaxian afterlife. As the guards draw their scimitars, the tax collector leans back in his chair and steeples his fingers. Let us be reasonable. We can work this out for a mere 100 gold pieces. Huh. Alright, so now we got him down to something normal. So we dropped him 3 and 100. Or we can still tell him go to hell and fight everybody. So we can fight everyone or we can take the deal. I mean, you know, a toll is fine, just not that terrible toll. Okay. Wow, Cujo. Cujo, you're one of those guys who, you know, when given the choice in Dishonored between stealth and straight up, like, smacking a guy, you're just going to smack the guy, right? You're just going to walk up and be like, yo, hide in shadows this, right?
What do you mean you have a tranquilizer gun on Metal Gear Solid?
Exactly. What do you mean, thief? Stake this. Thieve your soul. Is this toll being used for important infrastructure renewal? It's a good question. Maybe the infrastructure of the dude's house. I do stealth to show off, but still kill them. You do stealth to show off, but then kill them anyway with no penalties because you'd be playing Underworld Ascendant. Heyo! He's the kind of guy that plays a stealth game. Like, what stealth? Dishonored. The Dishonored series is so good, Brahms. Dishonored 1 and 2 were excellent. I haven't played the DLC for Dishonored 2. It's on my list to play with the other. Like, I have the second part of Pillars of Eternity White March still to play DLC. So I have a few of those. But Dishonored is great. And I knew that it would be because of the people that were involved in it. That was a case where, unlike the Underworld Ascendant thing, having people who had worked on previous games like this, they knew what their game was about and provided it. So, plus, man, Dunwall is one of the more, I think, really memorable settings for a city in video game recent memory. Such an interesting city. Yeah, it's so good, Hadnix. And not only is it a great story, you really do have multiple ways to do it. You really can kill everything that moves, but do it without being seen, or try to avoid killing anybody, or, you know, like, there's all sorts of ways. Yeah. Alright, I think we last called this. Is that him holding one of the stars?
Yes.
He's like, hey! That's pretty much what I would do if I were him. Oh my god. Okay. So we are going to pay, we're going to deduct the 100 gold. Alright, so we're down to 500 gold. And we are through. Section 44, Buying Freedom. Your load lighter after filling Hitaxian coffers, you leave the land of greed behind. The Hitaxian road ends abruptly at the gate, and you find yourself on a barren, dusty plain. A pall of gloom sets over your men as they see the dismal course their adventure seems to be taking. If you want to make sure they will not desert you, give each man 10 gold pieces if you have it. Wow, 10 gold pieces, and we got 25. All right, well, looks like 250 gold used up. I'm glad that we actually tried to intimidate the guy. 250 gold, and they're still with us. Leading your men to the southeast, you cross through northern Fex. Near nightfall, you come to a place where two dirt paths meet. Here you pitch camp for the night and treat your men to a feast. Regain 6 hit points. Yeah, exactly, cowards. Cowards who think only of their gold. Am I right, Cujo? Who's like that? Who do we know? Who do we know here? A map in the dirt. Moonlight illuminates the dusty place as the feast fire dies, or even the dusty plain. Though you have not yet reached the steaming jungle, you are beset by the scorching heat of the southern realm. If you are wearing armor, it will be of no use to you as you travel farther, but we don't wear armor because we're barbarians. What's up? Knowing this, you bury it at the fork in the road with the idea that someday you might come back to get it. If in another book you pass through the southern Hitaxian gate, dig up the armor and gain all of its benefits. That's pretty cool. However, we will not be doing that because we don't have any armor. Late at night, you lie sleeplessly under the canopy of the stars. Staring at the sky, you hear a soft, furtive sound and silently look around. Then you spy one of your party running across the flat, scrubby ground. You jump to your feet and give chase. The tall and lean figure is nearly as fast as you, but slowly you gain on it. Stop, you shout. You'll be shredded by wolves out there. Your words do not slow the figure, but a diving tackle does. It is better to be torn by wolves than tortured by the Ushadi, says the figure, a curiously exotic bearded creature from the southern lands. Then you know of him, you ask the prone figure. I know, too, that you search for Sanda Ul. Many northerners do. Few return. Peering into the crimson eyes, you get a strange feeling and stand up to view the prone slave. Following the curves of the figure sprawled upon the ground, you come to a startling discovery. It is a woman! Dun dun dun! Suddenly crying game. Reverse crying game. Reaching down, you pull a false beard from her face. Why do you wear this and suffer the lot of a male slave? It is better than the lot of a female slave, she says, dusting herself off. True, but there is more to you than that. I care about you for who you are. No, I just made that part up. Tell me who you really are, and do not spare the truth. I am Iruthu, princess of the Mombato Empire. Of course you are, yeah. Had the Hitaxians discovered my identity, who knows what dark fate I would have faced. In the moonlight, you are struck by her extraordinary beauty, of course. Her features sharp and chiseled, her skin olive, and her eyes smoldering like cut rubies. You, she says, are a barbarian, and as such can be trusted not to expose me. When you say expose, no, he doesn't say that. He says, my trust can only last as long as your loyalty. You have my loyalty. In her eyes, you see truth, and ask, what do you know of Sanda Ul? No living man who speaks truth can say he knows where the lost city is. No man save the Ushadi. But you are no man. No, he doesn't say that either. Show me what you know of the jungle, you say. The woman bends down and draws a map, her elegant hands artfully crafting it in the moonlit dirt. Turn the page for the map. Okay, now, this is going to be another one of those maps that they love to do in these things, so I got to find the map.
Oh, do I have to draw a map again?
Hopefully not. Let's see.
Would like to finish at least this one first.
I know, right? Barbarian.
It's like kind of weird because I so rarely draw lately because I either don't have the time or I'm just like, you know, my arm hurts too much. But like, then I like pick up a pencil again and everything like draws itself again, basically.
No, I love it.
Kind of like how did I? What? Like when did I learn to do that?
I know, that's really cool actually. Is your arm okay? Are you?
No, I'm okay. Like I'm wearing like a brace on my arm, on my hand. And,
okay.
Like, I did take a painkiller in advance. It's fine. I live.
All right. Still feel bad about it.
Don't worry. I will let you know if it's too much. But right now I'm feeling fine.
But
yeah, like usually I just like doodle in my sketchbook these days because it's more comfortable than sitting at a desk. I can just do that on my couch, like get like really comfortable, rest my arm on a pillow and stuff like that. Though it is kind of nice that like due to all that I started to draw more with ink again. So,
oh really?
Yeah, like I mean I did the whole Inktober thing this year. Finally.
Oh right, you know I remember you said you're right. I remember you talking about that.
Yes. And that was actually a lot of fun.
All right, I'm turning to internetarchive.org for they do have it. Amazing. Internet Archive.
Is it weird that I kind of want like a Sagard action figure?
No, I think that's I mean, yeah, this feels like this should have been Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh,
like this
yes.
should have been that. Dun, 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 dun,
Udoroth.
What is it?
Like, it's like a song. I'm gonna link that thing, and you can watch the video later. I guess.
Okay.
Just like save it for later.
Okay, I think I got it now. So let's. I'm gonna pull up the map here. Oh, check out the music. Dun 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 do do.
Yeah, a thing for everybody to watch after the stream. You're welcome.
There we go. Here we are. Let's move that to the bottom. Whoops. Too far to the bottom. I need you to be able
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the Sherlock Holmes one. Like,
So am I. I
Initially,
think it's going to be
was like,
fun.
oh, Sherlock Holmes, I don't care. But then I'm like, oh, but everything is Victorian. Yay!
Yeah, no, I know. Like, I actually am... but I mean, I actually really like Sherlock Holmes a lot, so it kind of fits the what I'm looking at. Okay, here's the map. So here we go, folks. Here is this map. Right. Show me what you know of the jungle, you say. The woman bends down and draws a map, her elegant hands artfully crafting it in the moonlit dirt. You haven't drawn any trails, you say, studying the map. She looks up. The jungle, like a hungry lion, eats trails. We must find our own. She pauses. You have set out on an impossible quest, Sagard. There is no other kind worth making, you say. Oh my god, that is the best! What a great 80s barbarian line. She says, you have set out on an impossible quest. He says, there is no other kind worth making. Oh my god, that is so barbarian. That is barbarian metal right there. I only do impossible quests. As it is late, you return to the camp. All of the men are asleep, thus none might know Uruthu's secret. Later, as you stare at the stars, waiting to be overtaken by sleep, a cold chill crawls up your back. You feel watched. Rising up and peering into the distance, you see nothing, for the eyes of the dead do not glow in the night. Dun dun dun! As dawn rises on the following morning, you must choose a direction. If you want to head directly for the jungle, we've got about 5 minutes left or so, folks, before we're going to wrap up. So if you want to head directly for the jungle to thoroughly search it, go to section 49. If you want to set out for the mountains to the south, avoiding a large stretch of jungle by taking mountain trails and crossing through the Ragnar Pass, you can go to section 53. So this map is in section 46, and you can map the areas you've explored as best you can. It will be easy to get lost on this map if you are not careful. So let's see, map on page. Okay, so the question is going to be, do we head for the mountains to the south, or do we head for the jungle directly, or set out for the mountains to the south, so that we can avoid going through the jungle for as long as possible? So, what should we do? Direct to the jungle? Go by mountains. Avoiding some of the jungle. Alright. What should we do? Go direct to the jungle or go by the mountains, avoiding some of the jungle? What's it going to be? Ragnar Pass, Tuma River. This is quite a map she made in the sand. The fewer snakes, the better. Yeah. It's funny. This is kind of the reverse of, without spoiling it, the sequel to my first, the sequel to my novel Grey Shade, which is called Renegade, deals with him going in a direction where eventually he goes to the swamp. He deals with the mountains, or at least partly of the mountains at some point. So you get to see some of those environments within that book. I hope to have an announcement about that series soon. I have, in fact, several publishing announcements coming soon, which I'm very excited about. Not as excited as I am for this music. And you are watching, of course, Terry Toons and live illustrating the gamebook playthroughs that we do usually every month. Sagard the Barbarian is what we are doing. It is the Fire Demon. It is this book. We are going to be doing Sherlock Holmes once we're finished with these books. If you like this, if you like role-playing, we do a ton of it. In fact, Terry plays in my Adventures of Middle-earth campaign, and we'll be playing in it again next week. So if you were interested in that, in D&D, in Esper Genesis, which is a space opera-based game, in the 60s spy show Assignment Impossible, in D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder, if you like any of that kind of stuff, or you like narrative RPGs hobbies in general of the computer variety or creative writing, you were in the right place. Definitely follow the channel, support the channel any way you can, and thank you all. We got a lot of stuff coming up over the next few weeks. Schedule is now pretty much getting locked in. I think we're in pretty good shape on the schedule for the most part, and it looks like we'll get just about everything in with the exception of Assignment Impossible, which will be back next month. Yeah, and then also on Friday, a week from this Friday, I have my album release party for my band's third album, 5 years later, which is up in Boston, which I'm going to try to live stream if I can. So, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Once we're done with this, which will be in the next couple of minutes, then I will be logging off and getting ready to go live over at GOG for my Pen and Pixels show, which is from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be continuing my playthrough of Thronebreaker, which is an awesome Gwent RPG game, basically. Good stuff. All right. Last call. Yeah, exactly. Soon, trademark. Okay. So, we are going to go by the mountains. All right. Section 53. Okay. Trek through the mountains, and I think this will probably be the last or close to the last one of this. Trek through the mountains. The Phyrexian plain ends abruptly at the Kush-Kavi Mountains, where a narrow trail leads to the rocky heights. For centuries, this trail has served as a trading route from Hitaxia to the southern countries of Tanzula and the Mombato Empire. Many miles southward is Ragnar Pass, which cuts eastward through the mountains into Zimba and Wuga. Reaching the mountains, you watch warily for an ambush, for narrow mountain trails often serve as bandits' lairs. For 2 days, you wind through mountain paths which drift and circle through the heights like a bird of prey. You see nobody save for scattered traders who eye you warily, yet greet you fondly. Late on the second night of your journey, 2 Medigian traders, bruised and starving, stumble into your campsite. Offering them food, you are startled as they gorge themselves for nearly an hour before speaking. It's a long time to be gorging. When filled, one of them grimly looks at you and says, "I am really, really full." No, they don't say it. They say, "Do not go to Ragnar Pass, Radican. Pass into Wuga through Falcon Gap. We were robbed by Kodakai and Ragnar Pass and barely escaped with our lives. The rest of our party were not so fortunate." "The Kodakai were slaughtered in a battle with the Tanzula 20 years ago," one of your men, a Frusti, responds. "Not all," says the Medigian. "A few lived and retreated to the mountains to rebuild their population. Now there are many bandits. They are filled with a terrible lust for vengeance." "Why have I not heard of this?" you respond. "Few live to speak of the Kodakai," the Medigian says, staring into the distance. It's that 1,000-page stare. "They are brutish mountain men of Phyrexian descent who hunt men for pleasure. I would fight Wugas 100 times before facing Kodakai again." "And what of this Falcon Gap?" you ask. "It was discovered by an Erdian trading party. They say it is a gentle sloping pass." Though the Medigians seem to be telling the truth, you wonder, remembering your first experience with Medigian traders in Book 1, The Ice Dragon, which actually you never played in this timeline, so you don't remember that at all. As the night wind howls through the craggy mountains, you must make a decision. And I think this will be our last decision of the day, folks. Do you head south to Ragnar Pass, or do you take your chances with the unknown Falcon Gap, as the Medigians have advised you? So...
It is a bit odd that like everything has kind of like the naming scheme for things is like vaguely Arabian/African.
Yep.
And then there's the Ragnar Pass, named after a Viking. It's like,
So it's like this, and then Viking. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that would be an awesome thing to do. Like, if you could find me a game book that has like a quote-unquote authentic, like, Norseman feel to it, like, I'd be all over that. Just like
there's gotta be a Viking one like that or something,
yeah, but like
right?
an authentic one. That's like the question. I'm like talking
like actually Njál's Saga style, like, you know,
Yeah.
Skarpeden through the shield and like that kind of, or through the spear and that kind of thing. I get it. Look at the we expositionari are near extinct thanks to the Kodakai's cruelty. It's good stuff. Look at that. Would you like an after dinner mint? It's wafer thin. Mm-hmm. All right.
thank you for reminding me of that movie. Not. Ugh. It's haunting me. I made the mistake watching that movie while eating.
Oh, that's not
No.
unfortunate.
Like, I really love Monty Python. Do not love that movie.
Yep. Most unfortunate.
Yes. So I do quote it all the time.
Well, I was gonna say, and Monty Python is great. I mean, just in general. I'd say probably Holy Grail remains my favorite, but Life of Brian is great, and what the hell is it? Something or for something completely different. What the hell was the one that was more broad based?
Monty Python's Flying Circus?
Flying Circus. Yeah, no, there was another one though. But anyway, that's your favorite Monty Python one, Aaron? No, yeah.
Which one?
I think the one that we were just talking about before.
Oh, The Meaning of Life.
Meaning of Life with Wafer Thin Mint.
I mean, that's such a good joke, but like, I hate any like puke-based jokes and movies. Ugh. No, thank you.
Not so fun.
No.
Yeah, how many actually? So let's see. So there's Flying Circus, there's Meaning of Life, there's Life of Brian, there was Holy Grail. How many Monty Python movies were there besides that?
Well, I have like one which is like a recording of like an opera thing. I forgot the name of it. I would need to get up and look at the DVD.
Was that like that? Is it? But it was released as a movie, its own thing, like its own.
No, like it was like a stage production, which they simply filmed off stage.
Okay.
But
I'm trying to. I think. Yeah. I don't know.
and like Flying Circus was a TV show, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it was, but well, I guess right, because there was a collection. There was one where they basically just kind of did the TV show, but they did it for longer, and that was basically that one film, and then they got into more actual storytelling films like Holy Grail and stuff. Yeah, Jabberwocky does. Well, right. Is it now for something completely different? Okay, kooky. Right, and then they have The Fisher King, right, which was directed by one of the Monty Python alums and had Monty Python people in it. But there's like Monty Python tie-ins in a lot of places. So Terry Gilliam, yeah. With Mr. Robin Williams. Okay, last call here.
For me, it's still Monty Python and the Holy Grail, definitely.
Yeah,
like
that's me too.
One of the like my first favorite movies ever.
Yep.
Actually, like I watched that one when I was a little kid.
Most quotable. So good.
I think I still haven't watched it in English.
Oh, really? For a long time, I always was watching it in places where I would fall asleep before it was over, because it was the kind of thing that like friends of mine in college would throw on at like 2 a.m. So I'd be watching it, and then like somewhere around 3:15. So for a while, I never really got much past Tim. Then the whole and like then later on, I'm like, I watched the rest of it. I'm like, and I got all the Castle Arg and the naughty whatever it is in the castle with the naughty women, and we've been very naughty, and you must spank us very, and all that. Fish Called Wanda. See, that's another example with the great Kevin Kline.
Spamalot, actually. That one was amazing.
Yep.
Like the live show. It was good. So good. I still have a T-shirt. Sadly, it got a stain that doesn't wash out anymore.
Oh, well, that gives it character though. Castle
Yes.
Anthrax. There you go, Sunshine Juju. Yeah. Castle Anthrax. The Robin bravely ran away. Okay. All right. Last call. All right. So the suggestion has been made to go to the Falcon Gap. And here is what we will find in the Falcon Gap. Falcon Gap. Strange dreams of fiery hands and undead eyes trouble your sleep. When you awaken, the Medigians are gone, having helped themselves on your supplies. What? What the? So much for the kinship of Northmen. However, if their advice was good, it was worth the food they took. Heading due east, you come upon Falcon Gap, nestled between 2 steep mountains. As the Medigians had told you, it is a gentle sloping pass which ends in the jungle. Your instincts tingle as you lead your men into Falcon Gap. The pass does not appear to be a product of nature. There is no overgrowth, as if it has been cleared by the hands of man. Midway through the path, a Tanzulin in your party shouts and points skyward. Swirling above you is a great swarm of what look to be gigantic birds. As they draw closer, though, you see that they are not birds, but men wearing wings strapped to their backs. Oh, I'm sure this is fine. Ambush, you shout as a flurry of arrows rains down on your men. You were unscathed, but your men are not so fortunate. Flip 15 times and lose 1 man in your party for each 4 you flip. Oh my god. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn it, we lost 1. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lost 2. 13, 14, 15. We only lost 2 guys, which frankly, that could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. The winged men drift slowly down to the ground, drop their false wings, and brandish spears. Attack them, you shout to your men. As you run to slay one of the winged men, a voice calls to you. Now, Radican fool, you know why few men know of the Kodakai. None live to tell of them. One of the Medigians from the night before stands high on the cliffside, far out of your reach. You little piece of crap. You and your surviving men must fight the 15 Kodakai. Okay, your men strike first, then they strike, etc., etc., etc. So basically this battle, which we're not going to do right now, but this battle is basically going to be fought between our men and their men. So that's what we're going to actually be trying to do. But not now. Exactly, recount, hacked, rigged, man. Alright, so we're going to deal with that next time. But this has gone very well. 25 stamina, 4, we're level 4 now. We have 6 experience. We have 250 gold. We have a medallion, spirit luck, Ambroth, a broadsword with an extra point of damage, 6 Kuzar stars. You can throw up to 2 per turn, 4 points of damage except on rolling a 1. When a 1 is rolled. We have 23 debtors in our army. We have a save point. We've got section 2138. So we've got save points section 21, 38, and 48. We did not save. We did save the crumpled man and ended up working out for us. And we have a map that we got on page 46. So in general, I would say this was very solid. Okay, let us turn to see. Why does this biscuit taste of iron? Let us turn to see exactly what happened with Terry's drawings today. Let us see what we had.
Well, I mean, here is the latest one.
Why does this biscuit taste of iron? That's after getting one of those stars.
Yes.
He looks more and more like some cross between Spinal Tap and then like Eric the Viking, and like there's like 4 or 5 different things that he's a cross between.
Wonderful. Good.
It's good stuff.
Then the second one was the Fire Demon.
The Fire Demon. Oh man, the Fire Demon with the scale. I love it. And the Sorcerer summoning the Fire Demon. That badass we're going to have to deal with at some point. Okay.
And then the first one was just a warm-up drawing.
Nice.
Like
really
a
good stuff.
close-up of the sword handle, I guess.
That's great, Terry. It came out really, really well. I did not know this sort of book existed. What category to find it on Amazon? Actually, Dreaming to Me, if you typed in game books, there are tons and tons of them. We actually started by doing, and we will go back to eventually, the Fighting Fantasy game book series, which has a bunch of these. Literally, I think 40 or 45 in the series. We did the Lone Wolf series, which is a whole other series that has like 20 books or so. There were a bunch of other like ones like this that never really made it the other ones did. So there's tons and tons of them. And then again, there's the Sorcery series, which, as I said, we're going to be playing together. So they've been around for a long time. Yeah, they have existed for decades for sure. They're like Choose Your Own Adventure, but they're a lot more engaging because you actually have dice that you're rolling, statistics that you have to keep track of, and stuff like that. And they're more complex. So yeah, 80s, 90s game books are a lot of fun. It's fun to play it with chat as well, to do all that. And it's especially fun to do this when we've got a really talented artist that we've got working with us as well. So this was good times. So thank you, Terry. It was a pleasure to have you back in 2019. You will see Terry on this stream again for this session next month, but you will also, of course, have her back for other things too. So Terry, where will the fine people see you next, and where can they find your stuff?
Well, I mean, like, they will find me here next. I'm not up too much these days. However, I do have a bigger announcement. I have been hinting at that, like I have mentioned stuff about that like in the other streams. But as people have heard, Tumblr is like committing suicide, and I completely left the website now. I deleted all my stuff from that website. because screw that website for like blocking my main blog that I can't be tagged in anything anymore, and I'm basically invisible now. And also for like, like basically since like the whole thing on like December 17th, I think, where they did the shutdown of all like 18 plus content,
Right.
which they allegedly made to like cut down on the porn bots and stuff like that. Every new follower I have gotten since then was a porn bot.
Well, they had to go somewhere, Terry. They're like, all right.
Yeah, and I'm like, why are you coming to me, basically? Because like before that, I did not have that big of a problem. I had like the occasional porn bot follower, and I just blocked them and reported them, and that was it. But like now, I had like within a few weeks, I had like literally 50 porn bots or so following me. It's literally just gotten worse. Plus, like for some reason, when some of my posts have been not just have like been like usually how like porn bots go is that they reblock one of your posts that you can like add something to that.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some porn bots have found a way not just to add something to that, but override the whole post.
Oh my
That you
God.
made. They did do that with some of my posts, and I'm just like, no.
That's
I'm so done. I'm so done with this website. But yeah, like now people can find me still on Twitter and Instagram at TariToons, but I'm also on Pillowfort now. Pillowfort is still currently in beta, and you can only join through an invitation currently. So like,
is that one of those ones where you could give invitations to people, or is it not?
No, like it used to be a Kickstarter thing, and that's like how people got their invitation codes, and then they had like donations open. Like for every €5 you donated, you would get an invitation code. But they currently have closed down on that to like deal with all the people that like suddenly came flooding in from Tumblr. Basically, I don't know what the current situation there is, but like so far, Pillowfort is like kind of bare bones, but it works. You know, it has like all the basic stuff, and like I do hope to make Pillowfort my main base of operations for the future, because it does look very promising. Because there is no better alternative to Tumblr right now, because the Tumblr format was great, except for like all the porn bots and the literal Nazis and stuff like that. So
you've abandoned the porn bots and the Nazis to their own vileness, and you are now doing your own thing, and also, of course, on the Patreon that you've got,
like,
right?
I haven't done anything with the Patreon in a while. I should get to that. Like, it's like the problem with like me not being very active lately.
It's a new year. Now is the time. And yes, Sunshine Juju, Terry is the dwarf with the cool IRL axe and crossbow. It's Inga. This is her other life is Inga. Yes.
Yes. Including the beard. People can't see that right now, but I have a beautiful beard.
Daughter of Ida. That's true. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, Terry is great, and you should follow her and do all the things. Yes, and she's going to be back with us next week when we will be playing again Adventures of Middle-earth. And again, Gamebooks will resume next month, but we will be doing the Adventures of Middle-earth twice more this month. Actually, 3 times, but with Terry, twice more. So you will see her on 2 consecutive weeks. You will see a lot of her on Tuesdays. So it'll be Terry Tuesdays, basically, for the next couple of days.
I mean, it has been for a year now, basically.
Yeah, so it basically is that way.
I'm basically here at least 2 Tuesdays of the month.
It's good stuff. It's good to have you on board and doing this. I always enjoy these. So this is good stuff. Chat, can we get some love for Terry? And I am actually going to pay Terry. Good. No, not tarot. Autocorrects. Terry. Okay, there we go.
Tarot Tunes.
How did Terry Tunes and I meet? Terry was a viewer of mine that came, I think, to me because she was watching probably when I was doing Baldur's Gate stuff or Icewind Dale or something.
You were doing the interview with Trent Oster and Bill Daigle for Siege of Dragonspear.
That's right.
And people advertised that on the Beamdog forums, and I was like, hey, I'm going to check that out. And then I kind of stuck around and never left.
That's right. And the rest is history. Then I got her locked in, made her a mod, gave her a sword, you know. Next thing you know, was the whole golden handcuffs, and you're like, "Oh man, I have to stay here and do stuff."
Actually, like, there's one cool thing that really, like, I mean, a lot of cool things came from that, but like one thing that, like, also kind of made "quote unquote" history is that, like, because I think that was on your stream when like people got to ask in the end questions to the developers, and somebody, as always, had asked about Planescape Torment, enhanced edition, which was not announced yet at that point. And they kind of let that one slip, and I made a cartoon of that.
Yep.
And yeah, that one kind of made the rounds, and it was fun.
Yep, absolutely. And you were able to do, yeah, that's true. So
I was, yeah.
That's funny too, because I mean that happened. You were able to sort of make a connection that way, and as I've mentioned before, Tren ended up doing voiceovers in the Shadowrun universe because of this stream. Because he ended up,
oh really?
Yeah, because he was hanging out and he mentioned he was a voice actor, and then he and I got to talking and stuff. And then when I started hearing how good his stuff was, so he ended up going when I did a live live voiceover thing of Shadowrun Hong Kong for Harebrained Schemes at their studio. Tren was the voice of Duncan Wu, and they were so impressed with him that he kind of stayed on their radar screen. And so first of all, he ended up eventually becoming the voice that was going to do most of the Shadowrun and Battletech audiobooks. But also then when they had a chance to, they cast him as the main bad guy in Battletech when Harebrained Schemes was doing that. So it was cool. I like, the channel has this small little effect in these ways that I like, of being able to put good, talented people in hopefully help them. Certainly I didn't. My channel only was a conduit. Terry was a tremendous drawer, an artist who just happened to use this as a conduit, and the same thing with Tren being an amazing voice actor. But I'm glad that I was able to help a little bit in just creating a little bit of a connection there, because they're good, talented people that I love seeing do work. So, but they're also good, talented people that I need to ask to leave now because I need to get ready. So I'm going to have chat basically say, give all the love to Terry. Please give your love to Terry for doing amazing stuff. Terry, thank you so much. As always, appreciate it. And I will see you next week for some AME.
Thank you for having me.
Always
Bye.
a pleasure.
Have a
Bye.
day, I guess. I don't know what time it is for you.
It is. It's day.
I'll go have dinner now. Bye.
Enjoy dinner. Bye, Terry. There we go. And thank you, Caro, for doing a good job on rolling those dice. You definitely made it happen. I mean, listen, you were a big part of the mix here. So, okay. So let's transition over there. I love the power of studio mode. Okay. So that is going to do it for us for this stream, but it is not going to do it for us overall, because, just as a reminder, we are going to be back here, or back, I should say, on GOG in about 25 minutes. So in about 25 minutes, I will be over at GOG, and I will be playing Thronebreaker over there. So I hope I will see many of you over there. As a consequence, then I want to remind everyone who may have missed this, Thursday at 10 a.m. So please note the early start time, 10 a.m. Eastern. I will be doing a special one-on-one session with Will Jones from Encounter Roleplay, who plays Robar Staunton in my Adventures of Middle-earth campaign. He had to leave the party, and he was gone for about a month in real time and about a week or so in game time. And so we're going to be seeing what it is that he did during that time by doing a special session. I did something like this for Don Cairo in my Infinity and Beyond Curse of Strahd campaign, and it was really awesome. So I'm doing this with Will as well. So that's going to be on Thursday, and then we will return to the full group of Adventures of Middle-earth on Tuesday. So GOG coming up in a little bit, then Adventures of Middle-earth Thursday at 10 a.m. And then Friday night, we will have the mini marathon session of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. So that is what we have got going on. So great pleasure. Thanks, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Please, if you haven't already done so, follow the channel. Please check out the YouTube with !ArvTube, the Discord with !ArvCord. Please check out the Twitter with !ArvTweets. Please check out the merchandise area with !ArvShop. Please remember the Patreon, !ArvTreon, and which is good for you, good for the channel, good stuff for you, good stuff for the channel. And of course, that sub button right above the sub window. If you enjoyed this, please consider throwing a couple of bucks to the Patreon or subbing to the channel, because it helps support what we do here, and you can get some cool stuff for you as well. Thanks to everyone who was here today. Thank you to my wonderful mods. Thank you to Terry Tunes. Again, great job, Terry. Thank you so much to you. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers. Thank you to Aradinel, Brahms, Dreamin' of Me, Kooky Canuck, Lucathea, and Nonstop. Thank you all so much. Thank you all to the Patreon supporters who show up here with those diamonds in front of them as well. Thank you to... No. It's always good when I get reminded of Eye of Argon. Totally your fault, though, Kara. Thank you to Commander Root, to Cujo, to Effect Life, ECAG, Freest, Gorgar, I'm not sure if I've seen Gorgar in here. I hope you like what you saw and heard and will follow and support the channel in the ways that I mentioned if you can. Thank you to Hatnix to host giveaway. Thank you to Caro, again, for rolling those dice. Thanks, Caro. Thank you to Mopsy, to Moobot. I don't know why Moobot's here still. Thank you to Mr. Manu. Thank you to Only Metza. I don't think I've seen you here either, Only Metza. I hope you like what you saw and heard and will support in the ways that I mentioned. Thank you. Thank you to Politsai. Thank you to Positivity Bot for always keeping me positive. Thank you to Questionable Results. Thank you to Sad Frog Dev. I don't know what that means. Feels bad man Dev, basically, but I hope you like what you saw and heard and will support. Thank you to, let's see, thank you to Skinny Seahorse. Thank you to Scum Shop. I don't think I've seen you in here either, so I hope you like what you saw and heard and will support with the Patreon and subs and following and all that if you can. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Slow Cool. Thank you to Stalio. Thank you to Stay Hydrated Bot for always keeping me hydrated. Thank you to Sunshine Juju. Thank you to you, Christensen, V&K, Virgo Praz, X Rogan, and thank you, of course, to Zyanicon. Thanks, everyone. Much love. Best viewers on Twitch, as I've said many times, and I will see you over on GOG in just a little bit over 20 minutes for some Thronebreaker and more Pen and Pixels. Until then, everyone be good to each other. Have a good day.
Well, do you remember when the world was fresh and new? When it all seemed clear to you? When your aim was straight and true? Were your mind untroubled by the questions in the dark? Content to play your part, open pathways to your heart? Were your life untainted by a host of broken dreams? When all your acts were queens, understood all that it means? Could you have understood the way your life was bound? Did you ever wonder how you got from there to now? Oh, yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. Go on and search now through your pile of broken lies and your set of fake goodbyes. Another cynical disguise.